Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Is that falling down? I don't know, it's falling down. What's going on here? What's going on here? Stay. You fell. What happened? You're supposed to be right about there. There you go. Cool. What's up, everyone? Hello. Did I unmute myself? I did unmute myself. Buongiorno. How's everyone doing today? Today's stream is just going to be a relaxing, nice it's between New Year's, or correction, it's between Halloween. It's between Christmas and New Year's. Nobody wants to do anything this week. Anyone who's working this week, you're not working. Let's be honest. Anyone who went to work this week, you're not working. Nobody wants to do any work. So we're just going to take it easy today. We're going to work on some little small stuff. Power armor. Look at my boots. I've got parts everywhere. I've got parts everywhere that need painting. So we're going to work on that for a bit. We're going to print some stuff because I need to reprint a bunch of parts for this. And yeah, we're just going to yap and chill and spend a couple hours relaxing topics. Religion, Emacs versus V, and we'll add politics to that. Playing DayZ. People still play DayZ? Like, I played DayZ like when it was like an Arma 2 mod, and I knew they came out with a standalone version and it kind of sucked. That was like a decade ago. Is it any better now? Yeah, dog. Oh, okay. Me working, but always do. It's sick, man. So many good servers. Okay. I don't know. That game was fun. It's just, I'm kind of burnt out on open world survival games because they all run into the same problem Minecraft has. And that is, it's only good for that nostalgia bump. You start off, you get going. When the world is hard, the game is better. The moment you have a base and the best weapons and you're not really afraid anymore, those games lose so much charm. Like, you lose so much of the charm the moment. It's like when you're a kid, right? We've all done this. You're playing Grand Theft Auto 3, okay? So harken back, you got your PS2, okay? The internet sucks. Bush is in presidency, the second one. You're playing Grand Theft Auto 2, right? Or Grand Theft Auto 3. Everything's great. You're having a fun time. And then you find the cheat code. And you put in the cheat code to unlock all the weapons. And infinite money. And infinite health. And then the game's not fun anymore. It's like, yeah, you go on your little rampage. You get 5 stars. And you start blowing up helicopters and whatnot. Get a tank. But it's not fun anymore. The challenge is gone. It's like Baldur's Gate. The most replayed part of Baldur's Gate is like the first 5-6 levels, Act 1. Because if you've played Baldur's Gate, you know after Act 1, your character is basically unstoppable if you know what you're doing. Like, you really have to screw up after Act 1 to have a party wipe in Baldur's Gate. Because the challenge is gone. No challenge, no fun. Yeah, games have to have a challenge. It's like Minecraft. The moment you got your infinite food spawner and your huge base and you unlocked everything. Yes, this is a sock filled with socks. I needed it for the boots. It loses a lot of the charm. So what are we doing today? Well, we're going to do some painting, but first things first. Hey, you. Yes, you. You watching right now. I'm talking to you directly. Not you. Definitely not you, but you directly. Do you want to win a spool of filament from POLYMAKER? Because every stream will give away a spool of filament from POLYMAKER. Link in the video description. Enter for your chance to win. I'm going to turn the green cam on. You know, probably not going to use it. The old Minecraft. Minecraft was... There's too much stuff in Minecraft nowadays. Like, when I played Minecraft, Redstone was new. Like, I bought in at like 0.14 beta. I believe. This is the old boot. So this is the new boot. So we're working on the boot. For those that don't know, we're building a set of T45 power armor. How it's going is, well, I've got the helmet done. Behold the T45 power armor helmet. Ooh, ah. like the smash button. Video on this whenever I get around to recording it, but I have all the B-roll, so I'll make a video on it. But anyways, because I am building this power armor in a way where it's like I'm not modifying the files. The reason I'm not modifying the files at all is I don't want to screw up the ratios, right? I don't want to screw up the sizing. I don't want to be bobbleheading it. Okay, that's one of the problems I notice a lot with cosplay. Some stuff works. My Mandalorian armor, I sized the Mandalorian armor to myself because it's body armor, right? You wear body armor. You wear this body armor that fits you. This is power armor. It's a little bit different. So I don't want to be walking around with like a massive head and like really skinny body. I'm not that skinny, so I can't pull off skinny body anyways. So the whole point is I don't want to mess up the scaling. So everything is printed exactly as the size is. So for certain things like the helmet, that works great. The chest piece, that works great. The problem is the boots. Put in perspective, this is one of my shoes that I'm wearing right now. See the little spot for my feet? Right, this is where my toe goes. This is the toe guard for the power armor. As you can see, there's a little bit of floating room there. And the problem is, see where the knee is? The knee has to be there. I can't have my knee be lower than that because then the thighs, and this thing has some thunder thighs, don't line up. So like, basically, I have to do the helmet and then start at the bottom and work my way up because everything's going to be referenced. And when I was playing around with it earlier in the year, because again, I printed all this stuff like way earlier in the year. Now I'm finally getting around to it. I made this. This is heavy, so I wouldn't use it. But this is just like a foam pad. I think it was like I don't know, I bought it at the dollar store. It's like a knee pad for like landscaping. Foam pad and a piece of plywood. It actually is really sturdy. The problem is it's really heavy. So this is what I was kind of using to just figure out the spacing. And then what I ended up doing is rebuilding this, because this we're not using anymore. This is garbage. Get rid of it. So this is my boot now. XPS foam, which is like the rigid foam you use for like stuff. It's 1 inch thick. So 2 of these glued together. By the way, Gorilla Spray Adhesive, super awesome for this stuff. So I've got 2 layers of that for grip and to keep the bottom from getting destroyed. Because this foam, you can like punch holes in it with your feet. So what I did was the stuff you saw me make the, what's it called? This stuff, it's underlayment. Don't use this stuff. One of the trends I'm going to be putting in the video when making this suit of power armor, I'm trying to do it cheap using stuff I already have, because like paint gets expensive quick. So I'm trying to use as much stuff I already have. This is I can't remember what this stuff is called, but you put it underneath tile in your bathroom. It's a waterproofing membrane. So you put down your subfloor, you put down a layer of grout, you put this on it, and then you tile onto this, and it allows like your tiles to move a bit and whatnot. So anyways, this stuff. I'm using this stuff because I have a roll of it. When the previous owner did our house, they tiled a bunch of stuff and they left a whole roll of this stuff in the basement. It's like 15 years old. It's out of date and it's like an offcut. So it's not like I can really reuse it for anything. This stuff is too expensive to be using for what I'm using it for. I just happen to have it already. So what I did was I took this, I cut it into size. I sprayed it with rocker guard. So like basically like bed liner, and hey, look, that's the bottom of the boot. So now I have grip, and also it protects the boot from if I step on stones or something, the bottom doesn't get all chewed up. I'm probably gonna put another layer of rubber over this. Once the whole boot's built up, put some rubber. Now you may be wondering, this looks like shit. This is literally just a form. Also, I did put ABS, the ABS sheets, you know, that we use for on builds. I cut 2 rectangles of them and I used them under the boots. That way the tread from the boot, the pressure points aren't digging into the foam either. So it kind of spreads it out. I wore these around for a good like 20 minutes last night, just in my garage walking around. And they hold up well enough. what would you have to do? You can go to Princess Auto and just buy rubber. You can just buy like floor rubber. That's what I'm going to put on the bottom of this eventually. It's just, this is for now, and also just to protect it. Won't my feet sweat a lot on these? Probably. But these boots were like 20 bucks on Amazon. And I don't mind like drilling holes in them and cutting them up and gluing stuff to them. And then to hold on the front, this is just Tessa tape, which is, it's cloth tape. So I wrapped it a bunch around, and then I also epoxied it down. The Tessa tape I also impregnated with glue. That's why it looks kind of funky. This holds on really good because this is basically like tapey rope. So that holds that on, that's on. I did cut it a bit. So I do have a little bit of flex where your foot normally flexes, but it works good enough. So just to put it all in perspective, let's just see how tall I am. I did measure myself. I am 5'9" normally, 5'10" on a good day. So I am 5'9". So this is me. I'm standing right where the boots are. Okay. Oh God, that's horrible. 5'9". Okay, reference. And then we put the boots on. And I did label them. Also, there are lifts in the boots themselves. So this adds 4 inches. And then I put the helmet on. And there we go. So this is roughly how tall I will be wearing the full power armor. Obviously, I'll be bigger in the XY, but this is my Z height, basically. So I go from 5'9" to about 6'4" with all this on. And I got enough movement. Like, I can walk around in these, and I don't have a lot of room to walk, but it's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Out of frame. Lifts on the boots are... Actually, I do have lifts in the boots. I do have lifts in the boots. So yeah, I am DeSantising it. Don't pass out because the air is so thin. Well, that's why I have an air circulation system in this. But yeah, so essentially how it works is 2 inches here, plus the foam, so about 2¼ inches of lift there. The boot itself gives me 1 inch, and then inside the boot itself, I've got the Ron DeSantis Special, which is this guy. So that gives me another inch. Also, it's a little bit softer on the feet too than the insoles that come with this, because I'm not wasting money on Dr. Scholl's on this. Get back in there. There we go. So yeah, so that is the boots. And you may be wondering, what's with the cutout? Well, glad you asked. Put you over here for now. Nope, you're not gonna fit there. There, okay. So the plan is, I'm waiting on some Eva foam. I'm waiting on Eva foam to come in. So the plan is, I'm going to build a boot around this boot. So what's gonna happen is, is this the right foot? Yeah, it's the right foot. Okay, so the toe guard goes on the boot like that. It's oversized now, but it'll be like foamed in and glued in. So that goes there. And then we have the anklet guard, right foot, right foot. By the way, pro tip, this is one of those things I learned doing this. If you're printing stuff and you have a left and a right version of it, but they look very similar, before you print it, label it. In like Prusa Slicer or whatever, most modern slicers allow you to emboss text. Don't be afraid to just write on the inside of the part, right and left. That way you know which one's which. Or A and B, or front or back. Don't be afraid to just go in there and add labeling to help orientate it, or up and down, whatever you got to do to make it easier on yourself. So that's what I did on these. It takes like 2 seconds. You just load up the model and whatever, and you just emboss it. So yeah. So this part goes right about here. And then This is where it gets funny. Here's the shin guard. So this is gonna go here, and then this goes about here, roughly, okay? So this is what I mean. It was important that I lined up the knee. And then there's a back shin guard. So there's a whole bunch of empty room in here that I'm gonna have to fill up with like stuff. Because I want this to all be an assembled unit. I want this and all this and this and the rear, because this goes on like that, or this goes like this, or the other way. Which one's the other one? This one. So this goes like that. So this is the leg guard. So this will be attached to this permanently. I want this to be like one complete assembled unit. The boot to just be the boot. That's something I may try, is low expansion foam, because you can get foam, spray foam that's low expansion. So it basically doesn't like force out. I don't want to go too heavy. The problem is I got to figure out how to attach everything to this properly. This is rubber. The boot is flexible rubber. So like, I might try like gluing foam on it to try and get it to keep a shape, and then glue stuff to the foam and then kind of block everything out and then spray foam it. The problem is too, I gotta like, this is why I had the sock. I had the sock stuff with socks so that I could, when I was attaching it, I could fill up the boot itself and get it to like the final size without my feet being in it. So I gotta like figure out how to like bag of rice or something in here while I'm doing all this. But that's not today's problem. I'm hoping the Eva foam comes in today, because like the plan is to like, you know, build up the boot out of Eva foam and then paint it all and whatever. So I'm disappointed you're not printing TPU boots that are designed custom fit in the parts, because the problem with TPU, it's a lot of printing and you better hope you're right. This cost me $8 for the foam, and I could just cut it with a knife and glue stuff to it and make it, just shape it by hand to make it work, because I don't really have reference models of all this. I just have the STLs. So I would be trying, and also I don't have a model of the boot. I would have to model the boot. I would have to bring in all the STLs into Fusion, and then I would have to CAD up something, or I could just go to Home Depot, buy $8 foam, glue it together, and just take a knife to it. So I've been watching the Hacksmith. I have. I knew that series was coming out a little bit before it did, because I actually, when he was in Seattle when I was there too with visiting Joel. So I actually talked with him about it a little bit earlier, so I got a little behind the scenes look. But just for reference, we're weathering today, because the weather is actually really nice out. So we're doing weathering. This is before weathering. So this is the final paint, okay? So yes, you can still see the 3D printed part texture a little bit. It goes away once we weather it. And then when it's done, it looks like this, okay? I'll put it in the middle. So what I'm doing is I'm giving everything a weather individually like this, and then building it, and then doing a final post-process once it's all together. So this basically gives me a baseline. So when I glue everything together, like the little nooks and crannies and parts you don't see anymore, at least have something. And then once like the whole boot is built up, I'll go in and do final weathering, put some like scorch marks and mud and whatnot. Yeah, I'll put mud and rust and whatnot. Like I haven't done anything on the helmet yet, other than the base weathering, because I want to basically go through and build as much of the suit as I can with like just an overall tarnish to it. And then once the suit is built and like parts are in their final position, I could start painting stuff. Because the thing is, like, I don't want to texture this and have it all done, and then when I go to attach it to the other part, which one is it? This one? When I go to put the two parts together, stuff doesn't line up paint-wise, because like they were textured individually. So I kind of want to basically have a rough finished texture on everything. I'm calling it a tarnished look. So I want everything to have the tarnished look before I go and do final weathering, rusting, blaster marks, stuff like that. So I did the boots last night, and it's funny, it's like, oh, this You know, this looks like steel. It's a steel toe cap, right? Look at that. And then you look inside and it's like, nope, just a bunch of ABS. Same with this one. So, and all the weathering on this is just black paint and water. And it gives you, I wanted the look of, I'm still trying to figure out the backstory. I'm one of those people, anytime I do a cosplay, it needs to have some sort of story to go with it. Nothing fancy, but just something to give you the vibe of like, you want something. You need something. You need a theme of some sort. And if you don't have a theme when you put it all together, I don't think it works out that well because there's no cohesiveness. You need a cohesiveness to do it, right? So for like my Mando suit, the backstory of my Mando suit, and if you haven't seen my Mando suit, I've done a few videos on it, posted some pictures of it. I'll pull it up here. Let's see here, network, tower, 3D, import, where is it? View large icons. Come on, load up. Yeah. So this was my Mando suit that I built for, I made it myself just because why not? And I wore it to East Coast Rep Fest last year. So I brought it out last year and I also wore it for Halloween this year. So this was my Mando suit, and F off with the AI bullshit. Back off. And as I was alluding to story, nothing fancy. You don't have to be fancy. This guy, his dad was a Mandalorian. It's after the Empire fell. And he just kind of became a bounty hunter using his dad's armor. And he's using whatever he's got. So that's why he's got the old Mandalorian rifle here. Or the Republic Commando blaster. Because, hey, it still go pew-pew. So he's using, you know, his dad's old armor and some scrounged weaponry. That's kind of like nothing fancy, but it gives you the idea. Also, he fights a lot indoors. That's why he's wearing heavy armor and why the weapon is compact. It doesn't have a big stock on it. So he's basically a for-hire door kicker is basically the theme around it. Nothing fancy, but it's enough to kind of give you something to work with. When you're going to paint it, you know, or printing the parts, it's like, okay, well, if he's going to be indoors, let's make the armor thicker because he's not going to have room to dodge. So he's going to have to tank more hits. So thicker armor. Okay. And because he's the tank, let's make it red because that way, because he's got the heavy armor, he wants people shooting at him instead of the other people because he's got all the heavy armor. So we'll paint him red. Okay. Well, if he's indoors, you're not going to have the big honking, minigun that the guy from the Mandalorian has, Paz Vizsla, who has the same suit of armor. He's got a big chunky minigun. That indoors would be horrible. Okay. So for this guy, DC-17M, nice and compact, boom. So like that was the basic story. Nothing fancy. Like I'm not a VTuber. I'm not writing an entire freaking history in the beginning, you know, type lore behind this. I don't need lore, but I do want a little bit of a backstory just to kind of tie it together. And also it makes it a little bit easier when you go to start getting to the final detail. You go, how should I do this? Well, if this is a story, this is what I should do. That's why he doesn't have a jetpack. Why would you need a jetpack if you're fighting indoors? So, war never changes. It does though. War changes all the time. So for the power armor, the only thing I have so far is it's an old suit of armor. So that's why I'm going with the tarnished look. I want a look of armor. Like I don't have the story yet for it, but basically the story is, this has been sitting somewhere in a depot for like 50 years at least, right? This has been sitting somewhere out of the elements, but unused for a while. And when something's sitting around, when metal's sitting around in a warehouse, a depot, a barracks, wherever, it gets tarnished. And that's kind of the look we're going for. When I get this all together, I'm going to paint rack numbers on it. For those that know, it's military equipment. It's going to have a rack number on it. I'm going to put rack numbers on it. I'm going to make it look like an old suit of, like, not old, but like it was just left in a warehouse and never got used, kind of thing. Patina. Yeah, patina, tarnishing. I'm not saying patina because it's not rusting. It's just tarnished, right? It's oxidized a bit. Well, you know, that's actually rust. Took the line about war never changes. Oh yeah, it's human nature that doesn't change. War changes a lot. But the human nature of war changes, or doesn't change. The equipment of war changes, but human behavior doesn't change because we're evil sons of bitches. I'm gonna need a cardboard box because I do not want to get yucky stuff all over my stuff. That'll work. New old stock. Didn't follow 3. They were used around 100 years before the war. Okay, so for those that don't know, Fallout takes place anywhere from like 100 to 200 years. Like, because the Fallout games take place over like 100 years, right? Between Fallout 1 and Fallout 4, it's like over 100 years time difference. But in Fallout, the bombs fall in 2076, okay? Yeah, we're going into the lore here. So in the Fallout universe, microchips are never invented. So basically the world is roughly the same up until about World War II, and things diverge. Essentially, instead of going towards like shrinking technology and microchips, basically everything leans heavy into nuclear. So everything's nuclear powered cars, blah, 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 blah. But there's no microchips. Everything's running off vacuum tubes and whatnot. That's why like the Pip-Boy has like a 33 megahertz processor in it or something. It's like really low because there's no microchips or they like just get invented before the bombs fell. So anyways, falls in 2076. Power armor was developed just before that when the Chinese invaded Alaska, and the T-45 is the first suit of power armor. If you don't know why I went with the T-45, it's because the first Fallout game I played was Fallout 3. Okay, I technically played like Fallout 1 or 2, but like the first Fallout game I really put time into was Fallout 3, and the T-45 is the power armor on the box. So that's why I went with the T-45, because like, let's be honest, that look right here, that's a vibe. So that's why we went with the T-45. Plus, I think it looks cooler than the T-60. I think the T-60 is too professional. The T-51 is cool, but the T-51 is kind of its own thing, and I don't like how rounded it is. I like the more angular look of the T-45. Also, much less detail. Here, let me show you. T-45 versus T-60. Images. Find some images. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, this compares them pretty good. Okay, so this is Fallout 4, but like, just to put in perspective, this is T-60 or T-45. This is T-60. See how much more detail there is in the T-60? Yeah, I ain't doing all that handwork. Screw that. So I went with this because I could hit it with a sander a little bit easier. T-51 is cool, but T-51's a stopgap. And the Enclave armors, I'm not a huge fan of. I don't like the halo, like this massive halo around the head. Like, yeah, it's more protection, but I don't like that look. Bottle of nuclear. Oh, and that's the other thing. I think I kind of know what story I'm going for with this guy. By the way, this is just water and black paint. This bottle of paint was empty. I filled it with water, shook it up, and now it's filled with water and black paint. For weaponry, two things. One, I'm not going to do a rifle. with this. I'm going to go with a laser pistol. And this I printed a while ago. This is not what I'm going to use, but I just printed it. It printed like shit, so I'm not going to hand work it. This guy. So we're going to go dual-handed. This is going to be... I'm not saying I'm inspired by Astartes and the Warhammer stuff recently, but the plan is basically this: left hip, las pistol, right hip. I'm not doing plasma because plasma sucks. So it'll be las pistol, which I actually have printed. I forgot I printed one a while ago. I have a las pistol printed over there. We'll take a look at it. But las pistol, primary hand, and then offhand will be the, I think it's the Ripper. So that's the plan for armament with this guy, because it's power armor. You are the weapon. Also, I figure if I go with stuff that doesn't look like real life stuff, the chances of me getting yeeted by YouTube are much less. Also, buy some gamer subs. Use code Canuck. Save 10%. Go with the junk jet. The thing with the junk jet is the same problem I have with the DC-17. You ever walk around at a convention in a suit of armor? You can't see shit. My visibility in this thing is horrible. Okay? Basically, stand up straight, put your hands flat underneath your eyes, and that whole blind spot you got now, that's what I see inside the helmet. So I don't want to have to be carrying around a big bulky junk jet. That's why it's like, that'll be on the hip, and I can, you know, do stuff with them, but they'll be just kind of props. Okay, how do you paint this? It's actually quite simple. You get your black, make sure it's acrylic paint, black acrylic paint and water. I use these acid etch brushes, and the first thing I do is I brush it into all the nooks and crannies. And yes, it's gonna make a mess. So you want it to like get into all the nooks and crannies. Simple as that. And just let it kind of dry for a bit. Okay. Cleaning up the brush. And then paper towel. Don't roll it up, wad it up. So usually one piece of paper towel is enough for this. Wad it up. Dab, dab, dab. Make sure you're wearing gloves. This gets on everything. And just kind of smear it on everything. Also, don't wear good clothes. And don't do it on anything you don't mind getting black and all dirty and covered in paint. Look at the camera, see what I'm doing. That's it. Done. And then we do the other one. Has your table ever got a green tinge to it? Just a little bit. I mean, I figure I put the camera in Fallout mode just to kind of get with the vibes, right? Just go with the vibes, right? And then bring out the extra. And then we wait. Wait a couple minutes. Nothing crazy, but just wait a couple minutes. Well, I don't have the text on it because remember I reinstalled Windows on the computer, so I had to like restart. Or I don't have all my... I had to restart everything essentially. Pip-Boy vision. I'm not going to have a Pip-Boy. I'm not going to have a Pip-Boy with this. I don't plan on having a Pip-Boy. Pip-Boys are really rare in Fallout. Remember that. In Fallout, it's pretty much like Vault Dwellers have Pip-Boys. And Like, they're not common in the Fallout lore. Pip-Boys are not super common for the average Joe. I don't think my person's going to be a Vault Dweller. This is not going to be a Vault Dweller. Actually, the plan is, right now, the current thing is, for those that know, talk about topical, in Fallout lore, Canada gets annexed by the US. One second, I got paint on my screen. There you go. Canada gets annexed by the US in Fallout, in the Fallout universe, okay? During like the oil crisis and whatnot, and there's a resistance. So I think my plan for this is to be a Canadian resistance captured power armor. I think that's what I want to go with it. It's just it's an old set of T-45 that was captured by the resistance. But then the bombs fell, and what's the point of, you know, your resistance when the world ends? And it was just kind of like left abandoned somewhere. And then somebody finds it. That's kind of my thinking. So the plan is to like spray paint like rack numbers on it, make it look like military equipment, and then spray paint like some maple leafs on it and whatnot to make it look like, you know, kind of like how like the Ukrainians, when they capture Russian equipment, they like spray paint like Ukrainian symbols on it so people know like, yes, this is a Russian tank, but it's Ukrainian. Like I kind of want to do something like that with this, where it's like, yeah, this is American equipment, but it's been captured. I know, annexing Canada, what a ridiculous idea, right? So as you can see, this looks a little too dirty. Okay, we don't want it to be this dirty, right? This looks like I walked out of the swamp. It doesn't look tarnished, right? Arise, ye tarnished. So anyway, so now, same rag, but I wringed out all the excess, and then just blotch it. Again, you don't want to use like a really tightly wrapped up thing. You just want to blotch it. Don't smear it. Don't drag it. Just blotch it. Okay? Because if you smear it, you get streaks, and streaks are not a natural thing unless you have like water damage or something. Okay. That's it. And then wipe off any extra here, and then go down the inner part that you don't see. And then whenever I do this, I try to always do it like, if you're holding it, try and hold it in the way that it sits on the armor the most. That way, if you do get any drips or runs or anything, it drips downward, because that's how gravity works. You kind of want it to mimic, you know, like naturalness, essentially. Okay, that's that one. Now we do this one. While I'm doing this, don't forget, every stream we do give away a spool of POLYMAKER filament. Link in the video description. Enter for your chance. While you're doing that, check out some of the other links in the video description. Affiliate links don't cost you anything extra, go a long way in supporting the channel. And while you're in the description there, don't forget to like the smashing button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, a Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. Because that way, other people hang out when we do cool members-only stuff, and you get videos early. So, I know I didn't put a video out yesterday, because I put one out on Tuesday, but I might put a video out on Sunday. Just to kind of even it up a bit. There we go. And we let that dry for a bit. What flavor? It depends. There's quite a few. Copium, I like. Brand Risky, I really like. This is Blowhole Blast, which is actually really nice. Also, the caffeine-free lemonade is bomb if you're just thirsty. Just don't use honey. Honey was before my time. Can we talk about that thing? I know it's a thing. I'm not harping, like, this is nothing against the YouTuber who did the expose, but like, we all knew this. Like, anyone who knew honey was a scam years ago. The whole affiliate link takeover thing, this was like found out in like 2020. Like, I remember watching CHOW videos with honey, so like honey being promoted, and then like on the CHOW subreddit, people were like, yeah, they take over affiliate links, they're scamming. And then a lot of creators dropped them. LTT dropped them, a bunch of other people. And this was already done. Like, we all knew, like everyone who knew that honey was a scam, and that's how honey operated. Remember, if you're not paying for a service, they are making money off you somehow. How do you think honey makes money if all they do is give you discounts? Obviously, they're making money already. Seriously? Yeah. Everyone knew about the honey thing years ago. Or not everyone. People who knew that honey was a scam years ago. That's why everyone dropped them. That's why honey used to be everywhere, and then like over the past little bit, you rarely see people promote honey anymore. It's because everyone realized what they were doing, and all the big creators dropped them because they were losing money because of the affiliate link takeover. So it was a known thing. But then a YouTuber comes out and makes an expose video, and it's like, ooh, oh my God, we're all just learning. It's like, no, we all knew this already. All the big creators knew this already. This is old news. This be like, you know, a History Channel coming out and be like, hey, World War II ended, and you won't guess what the Americans dropped on Japan. Everyone's like, oh my God, really? It's like kind of the same thing. It's like, this is old news. You're reporting on an old thing. We knew about this already. So, I don't know. When I saw that video, people were like, oh my God, did you see the video? And I'm like, I don't need to watch the video. I knew this years ago. They injected affiliate link. They basically commandeered affiliate links. This was known years ago. I don't think I've ever seen it. Honey ads were very popular in like 2018 to 2021, roughly. And the thing is too, people were like, why didn't all these big creators speak up? Because honey is owned by PayPal. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. Yes, you know, PayPal may be a shitty company with a lot of bad business practices, but I also rely on PayPal for a lot of my revenue. So I ain't gonna come out and you know, I'm not gonna piss off the bank. You're just gonna go, yeah, okay, yeah, honey was kind of bad. We're not gonna use them anymore. That's what, you know, people, they were harping on Linus for like, why didn't they make a video on it? Two things. One, putting out a video that is just going, we screwed up, is asking to lose money. Because like, you put out a video, who does that inform? You just stop promoting it, right? Like, what is this like ritualistic, like you need to come out and put it, they put a thing in the forum going, yeah, this happened. We're not gonna use them anymore. Like, it is what it is. But like, I find it really odd how people hold content creators to a completely different standard than every other media when it comes to ad promotion. Because here's the thing too, people were ripping on smaller creators. This guy spent how long doing an in-depth research thing to do an expose on honey and the bad business practices? Do you think little Timmy with his freaking Minecraft channel with 50,000 subs is going to go through all the hassle to figure all this out, to find out if a company is reaching out to them for a sponsorship is legit? Or are they going to do what I do, where if a company reaches out, I don't do a lot of ad spots, you guys know that, or I go, hey, well, this other creator who's about my size did a video with them, so I guess they must be okay. Where do I sign? It's like PCB Way. I like PCB Way. I've done sponsor reads for them before. Have I looked into their entire business practice? No. Do I know if they're running a sweatshop somewhere? I don't know. If a video comes out saying they were, I'll be like, oh, that sucks. I didn't know about that. But it's like, how am I supposed to research? I'm a single man operation. I don't have the funds to contract a contract lawyer every time a company reaches out for an ad read. All I do is go, okay, yeah, this is an okay offer. Okay, cool, I still retain rights to my stuff. And other YouTubers are doing ads with them. I guess they might be okay. That's it. I don't know how, like, why people are like, oh, they should have known. If you're just making the video now, years after this came out, how were they supposed to know? Working on this for years, I knew about it. Yeah, and also, the guy's releasing this video, this expose video, as a 3-part series. My brother in Christ, you don't need a 3-part series to drop the news. This is what Honey's doing. These are the repercussions. This is how they did it. Make it an 8-minute video and lay down the point. But no, it's being milked out for a 3-part series so that the person can make money off of it. Join their Patreon. That's what they were promoting. At least they have the credit to only promote their Patreon in the video. But like, if this was such massive game-changing news, why aren't you releasing the news right away? Why are you tiering the news behind multiple videos? Oh, because we're content creators and that's what we do. That's like when you turn in for the news and it's like, oh, then the results of the big game are coming up right after the commercial. Stay tuned. So yeah, CoffeeZilla does do it better. CoffeeZilla is like the GOAT for this kind of stuff. Like it was a smaller, I don't think it was a smaller Mega Lad. Like any YouTube channel with Lad in the name, I'm a little hesitant of after, what was it, Mini Lad came out with a whole bunch of shady shit they did or something. So anytime I see Lad in a YouTuber's name, I'm like, you were a Minecraft streamer at one point, weren't you? But yeah, like I'm not knocking against the creator. It's just like, I don't know. It's like, we already knew about this. I don't know. Voila, behold. Tarnished boot calves. That works. See how easy that is? Look how much nicer that looks now, eh? Like, that's it. Tarnished. And then I put it right here next to my fan that blows warm air on it. But when he got to the LT thing, it felt it was Klaus change. That's another thing I've noticed a lot. LTT, I've met disclosure, I've met LTT, I've been to Linus Media Group, I've done a video with them, I've met several of the crew, I've talked to several of the crew. I have had DMs with Linus, but that's it. And that was a while ago when we're trying to sort out some issues with my channel. And I like Linus Tech Tip content and I buy their merch. I bought the backpack, I bought the new backpack because I do need a new backpack and it was actually on sale. So I was like, okay, whatever. But like, it feels like they're like the obvious target now. If anything, because here's the thing, they're a massive YouTube channel that do a video every day with hundreds of employees. They're gonna do a lot of ad reads and they're gonna have content that does feel cookie cutter. It is what it is. There's 100 employees and they put out a video every day around tech, right? Like, it is what it is, nature of the beast for the type of content they do. So yeah, it's very easy to go digging into the thousands of video backlog to pull up an ad read from 4 years ago with a company that's now in hot water. It's the obvious, easy to go to thing. Did I buy the screwdriver? Which one, the big one or the little one? Which one, this one? This one or the precision set that's downstairs? Yeah, fiscally, yeah, he's got hundreds of employees that need to be paid. It's like when people are like, why doesn't Prusa make stuff overseas? It'll be cheaper. It's like, so just say you want him to fire, a couple hundred of his employees so he can make stuff cheaper overseas. Is that what you want? It is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. Once you get to a certain size, you have to just start playing by certain rules. It sucks, but it is what it is. It do be what it do be. Yo. This one's gonna make an absolute mess doing this. This thing's huge. And the problem is too, you have to like dab this on and then you have to let it sit for a bit, because I find like freshly painted spray paint, especially this metallic spray paint, it leaves like a sheen to it that like the paint doesn't want to stick to. You have to like let it absorb in for a minute. Now I have to like do the one side, let it dry up for a bit, flip it over, do the other side. I have got paint splattered all over my desk. This stuff is messy. This is messy. It's the fastest, easiest way I know to do this. It'd be nice if I had like a hanging paint booth that I could use all this in, but I don't. So people stop typing exactly the same. Still never watching LTT. They're entertaining. They're generic tech videos. It's like, you don't need to watch every episode of The Simpsons. I mean, you shouldn't be watching anything on The Simpsons past season like 12, but either way. But every now and then, you know, it's just something to put on. And occasionally they do a video that's interesting. If Prusa were to do that, do you think they could lower prices? Of course they'd be able to lower prices. I mean, manufacturing stuff overseas is like the cheat code for capitalism. The problem is, though, for those that don't know, when you set up a shop in China, the government owns a chunk of it, and at any point they could basically just take it from you. So there are downsides to manufacturing over there too, especially if you're doing stuff that is license sensitive, or like you're the only one doing it. You might not want to do that. But like, yeah, Prusa could, you know, move their production to China and save a bunch of money, but then you wouldn't be buying a Prusa anymore, would you? What's the point of buying a Prusa at that point, right? Prop finishing time. Yeah, I posted, you know, this, to be honest, this isn't a Galactic Armory model. I found it on Etsy. I found the files for this on Etsy. Like, I do know Galactic Armory has a bunch of Fallout models, but I think they're like Ranger armor. I don't think they have a set of power armor. Or if they did, I didn't see it when I was looking for files. China is not always cheaper. Yeah. Some countries require. Yep. Why do you think Prusa has been working on getting manufacturing in the U.S. set up? Get those Gucci government and educational contracts for selling printers. Why not? It's easy money. And that's something a lot of companies can't compete on. Because when you're competing against companies that can automatically just right off the bat outcompete you on manufacturing costs, you have to do other stuff. The problem is, so many people are straight up, they only care about the price. Like, so many people, especially in 3D printing, unless the printer is dirt cheap, they won't look at it. It's like, no, I can get this cheaper. This is cheaper. This is cheaper. Why would I get this? This is cheaper. I'm gonna go with the cheaper one because it's cheaper. The amount of times I see people just, that's their only like workflow when it's deciding what to buy, it's kind of sad. It's like you're missing out on a lot of good options because you want to save 50 bucks. But it's cheaper. It's cheaper. Now I gotta let this dry for a bit. Is it cheaper though? It's cheaper. Also wear gloves when you're doing this. Otherwise your hand, I did this once and I didn't wear gloves because I ran out. I'm like, I'm just doing one piece. It was back when I was doing the Mando armor. Like, this is just one piece. It'll take me 2 minutes. And my hands were like black for like a day. Brazil. Yeah, it makes sense in Brazil. Brazil has a lot of tariffs. The problem is when you're dealing with a country with tariffs, hint, hint for the Americans, it takes time. You can't just go, okay, we're gonna slap a tariff on stuff and that'll make local manufacturing cheaper. It's like, no, it takes time to build that manufacturing base. Like, you can't just tariff the crap out of Chinese goods and then overnight just switch over to American goods, because now you need to basically create facilities that are able to basically match production of China, because now you're no longer have those production facilities over there. So now you have to essentially set up all of China manufacturing onshore overnight, and you know that ain't cheap. Again, I'm just going for like a base tarnish look right now. And then after I get everything built, like I get the boot assembly together, I will go over and do a final weathering pass once everything's together. That way everything is even between the different components. Because the last thing I want to do, again, I said this earlier, was weather everything, and then when I put it all together, it doesn't match, because like patterns don't match, and you can see the shift. You want to weather it all as one, essentially. There we go. Dry for a bit. You're dry here. So here, I'll let this dry for a bit, and then I'll compare the two parts. So I'll compare the dry one and then the not dry one. Splattered all over it. I'm wearing a black shirt for two reasons. One, so that way all my mess, you can't see it. And that's pretty much the only reason. The Target finished goods, yeah. Well, it's like when, what is it? Canada, when what was it, aluminum? When Trump tariffed aluminum last time, we tariffed the crap out of like jeans and like whiskey, because that hurts his base. You tariff stuff that will damage him politically. But we kind of learned that doesn't really work. His base doesn't really care when they get hurt. I find many light passes for weathering than heavy single coat. I do kind of a mix. What I do is I lay it on heavy, I let it dry for a couple minutes, and then I dab it off, and then I go over and dab it, do another dab coat. So like I'm gonna let this coat kind of set for a second. I'll do one more overpass, and then that's it. And again, this isn't final weathering. This is just getting a base on everything. So that way I can go ahead and do final assembly. And then I can go and do a final weathering on everything complete. I'm just doing this so that everything kind of already has like a base tarnish to it. To hopefully like make it so like when you put two halves together, you have stuff that you don't see much anymore. But I want to have a finish on it, because like the last thing I want to do is like the two halves when they come together for the thighs. I don't want like the seam to be bright and shiny in the middle if it like the seam ever opens up, right? So. China hit chicken feet and soy. Yep. Remember, it's a global economy. There's no point in any of this like petty tribalism anymore. It's a global economy. And here's the thing, by basically pissing off all your allies, all it does is make your allies work together and not with you. And that leads to, you know, isolationism. So the last thing you want is to be no longer in the group of friends, right? You go ahead, you piss off all your allies, they're gonna go make deals with not your allies. And you got no repercussion because you drove them away. But something, 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 art of the deal. Go. Okay, let that dry for a bit. How tall is this thing? I did the math last night, and then by math I mean I got a tape measure. I'm gonna be about 6'4" in it. I'm 5'9" with the full suit on. The boots give me an extra about a little over 4 inches, and then the helmet adds about another inch or 2 on top of me. So. Yeah, Otto's moving out. Like we have, like, I live in Windsor, Ontario. Well, I don't live in Windsor, but I live in the area. And huge automotive. Like, I used to work in tool and mold. The shop I worked for, we did mostly automotive mold. And the thing is, cars aren't cheap to make. The cars that are cheap to make, the companies don't want to make them because the profit margins are slim. That's why Ford doesn't make Mavericks, right? Everyone wants to buy a Ford Maverick because it's a cheap compact truck. Yet Ford won't build them in numbers because they make more money off the Rangers and the F-150s. Super annoying. So here's your comparison. So here's one tarnished, untarnished. So both of these looked exactly the same. And you could see on this one, you could still sort of see the paint thing, the seam between the different printed parts. You know, it's like I bonded it and hand worked it. You could still see, but on this one, once you put that that tarnished coat on it, it's pretty much disappeared. Because the seams are in the same place on both these parts. The seams are in the same place, but once you put that tarnished look on it, it just disappears. So now we do this guy. Make sure we got it all. Might have done a little too heavy on this one, but whatever. And the fun thing is, if you screw this up, baby wipe, and you can wipe most of it off and start over. Or at least knock off most of it that you can start over and it's not an issue anymore. How dare those? Oh, there's a difference between making a profit and greedy profit. And I think we've established that they don't care about making a profit anymore. It's like, oh, you know, we made, you know, $40 billion profit. Okay, what does that profit go to? Well, stock buybacks, so that our shareholders can make more money. Okay, but why don't you take that $40 billion and, you know, take $1 billion of that and divide it among all your employees for like a Christmas bonus? Oh, we can't do that. Remember, minimum wage is legally your company. If you're getting paid minimum wage, that's, you know, your company literally going, I legally can't pay you any less to do your job. Remember the supervisor at the shop I used to work at, one of the other supervisors was telling me, he went to an interview at another shop and they were like, oh yeah, we're doing so good, blah, 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 blah. And they gave him like, they put an offer, like he went for an interview because he was working at our shop and he went for an interview at another shop because he heard good things. Because the shop was doing really good and they were making a lot of money and they were always busy. So he went and did an interview. And they're like, okay. And they're like, okay, well, this is what we're offering to hire you. And he laughed at him. And he was like, I thought you guys were doing good. And they're like, oh, we are doing good, blah, 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 blah. It's like, if you're doing so good, why is your pay so shit? Oh, well, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's like, so you're not doing good. No, we're doing good. Oh, correction. Your boss is doing good. The owners are doing good. The employees are doing shit. And the HR is like, I think we're done here. And he's like, yeah, I think we're done here. You can't go out and be like, oh, we're making so much money. Well, if you're making so much money, why does you pay shit? Oh, that's why. How many perimeters are these? Most of these parts were printed with Voron spec settings. So 3 or 4 walls, high infill percentage, but they're pretty thin parts. So it's pretty much all walls, essentially. Yeah. Let that dry for a bit. Squeeze out the excess. Where'd that paper towel go? There. Health insurance, if it's by choice between stock buys and killing you with, yeah. Oh yeah. The whole for-profit healthcare is a joke. Insurance companies don't provide healthcare. Doctors and hospitals provide healthcare. Insurance companies just take your money and are supposed to share the risk, right? That's the whole point of insurance. You share the risk. We all put money into the pot so that the few people that have to take money out of the pot have the money to take it out of the pot. That's how insurance works. It's not I paid into this for so many years, I deserve something. That's not how insurance works. It is when something happens and you need to take money out of the pot, you take money out of the pot. In a perfect world. The problem is, now you've added a layer of, oh, we need to make money. We need profits. Why are we talking about this? Why are we going down this route? I'm working on cosplay. This isn't Twitch, I'm not Hassan. Why are we going down these topics? Oh yeah, the annexation of Canada and Fallout universe. That's how we got down this road. It's like, wait a minute. I know how we got here. Need a hull of armor. Well, luckily so far, the only suit of armor that I have completed is my Mando suit, and that fits in a box. So that I keep in a box. The Helldiver armor I ended up throwing out because I never finished it. I kept the helmet. I have the helmet done, but I never finished the armor itself. So it's basically, I just had a box of printed parts of various knot things, and it's like, I don't think I'm going to finish it, so I'm not finishing it. So I'll probably throw that out. But this one, the plan is with this one, part of the reason I want to build this into different assemblies is so that on the Mando suit, when I wear the Mando suit, I basically put on a set of coveralls, a jumper, and everything Velcros to me. That's how the Mando suit works. Everything just Velcros to me. With this armor, I want this to be something I put on. So like the boots are apart, the waist is apart, the arms are apart, the torso is apart. I want this to be essentially something that can stand on its own. Within reason. Obviously, I'm gonna have to have like a skeleton in it, like PVC pipes or something to kind of make it stand together kind of thing. But I want this to be a near standalone thing. Like I want this to be, you know, something I could just, you know, have set up. Because I would like to actually start bringing this stuff to events. Because, you know, this year, maybe for Murph, if I go to Murph this year, if anyone goes to Murph this year, maybe I'll get a booth this year and I'll bring some stuff. Same with there might be a show in Detroit. A 3D printing show in Detroit this year, maybe. That'd be really nice because I'm 20 minutes away. So. You're dry. This is the problem. Like, I was gonna start working on other parts of the armor, and then I realized, wait a minute, I don't have room. I've got no room left. Like, I'm literally balancing the parts on a garbage bin right here in front of a fan to dry them. It's the inner thigh. Might have gone a little too heavy on this, but that's fine. I like the look. Rise, ye tarnished. What do you want to see out of 3D printing in the corresponding companies in 2025? Keep doing what they're doing. Honestly, you're not going to see a lot of technical stuff. I don't think you're going to be seeing any massive leaps and bounds in 3D printing tech over the next couple of years, because until we come out with better plastic science, we're kind of at the limit. Let's think about it. A 3D printer has been able to outrun filament flow. Like, pretty much all modern 3D printers can print faster than filament can flow properly. So what's the point of going any faster? There's no point in going any faster until we have better materials that can take it. Because let's be honest, speed benchy prints print like shit, right? You're either printing at a very low layer height to go really fast, or you're having layer adhesion issues. Or your prints aren't being able to cool properly, or you're shot cooling the plastic. I want to be able to go fast and still get the material properties that are listed on the box, essentially. That's why I like this guy right here. This is rated for 600 grams of carbon or glass-filled nylon a day. Can it print more than 600 grams of glass-filled nylon in a day? Yes, of course it can. This thing moves at a meter a second easily if it wants to. The problem is, at those speeds, you literally do not get the mechanical properties out of the filament. You degrade the plastic. You are not getting the rated mechanical properties. So what's the point of going any faster if you can't? The biggest thing you're going to see a quality of life stuff. Literally, that's going to be the big thing over the next couple of years with at-home additive is quality of life stuff. Making it easier and simpler for people to get into the hobby. And the biggest problem still to this day is simply the fact 3D printing is an imperfect science. 3D printing is an imperfect science. We are basically taking something that is inherently flawed and trying to make it do what we want it to do. Okay? Because guess what? You're still going to have nozzle jams. You're still going to have filament clogs. You're still going to have prints warping off the bed. You're still going to have prints cracking. You're still going to have support failures. You're still going to have all these things, regardless if your printer just works. And Lord help you if you're a company selling a printer that is marketed as the printer that just works, and your support division is getting hammered because, yeah. There we go. Look at that. Quick and easy, eh? Love it. I just really hope Bamboo, whatever Bamboo's cooking up, actually is a game changer. If it's not, I'm gonna laugh. If they come out with their new printer and it's just a bigger X1 with 2 nozzles and that's it, I'm just gonna be like, really? You're doing what Ultimaker did. Welcome back, Ultimaker Original 2. And then I take this and I fold it up and I put it over here. And then I leave the paint in there and it builds up like a patina, like a coffee cup. Next, we have a proper seal chamber. Probably not, because that requires an actual chamber that weighs a lot, and they can't get their cheap shipping option if they do that. Be nice. Gotta put like a flap door on the poop chute. Any 3D printing shows in Western Canada? I don't know. I'm in Central Canada. I believe there's one in Edmonton or Calgary. I can't remember which. I mean, those are really the only two big cities other than Vancouver out there. Sorry, Saskatoon, you don't count. In Manitoba, well, nobody wants to go to Winnipeg. Should crank out Milo streams. The problem with the Milo, I would love, if I win the lottery, okay, all you're going to see happen is I'm just going to keep doing what I do right now, except I will be in a different location with more rooms in a Bridgeport. That's basically it. The end goal of the channel, if like the channel ever becomes what I would envision it to be at the end, right? Right? You know, I win the lottery, I get 1 million subs, I get my plaques and whatever, I don't care, but whatever. Is literally doing exactly what I do with just more room and more equipment. I would like to have a shop. I would love if I had an actual shop to work in, with actual room to do stuff properly, instead of just taking over rooms in my house and the garage. Although I will say right now, it's actually really warm in here. It's 20 Celsius in here. So much for winter. But yeah, it'll be like, hey, we're doing exactly what we do. We just have more room and more machines. That's all I want to do. Basically, you know, Adam Savage tested where it's just him fucking around in the shop building shit. Yeah, that's all I want to do. Just more 3D printing stuff. Like the whole reason I started streaming to begin with is one, I was bored during COVID. And two, I was like, well, if I can make enough money off live streaming and doing YouTube videos, that'll pay for the printers. That was basically the whole point, was like, hey, let's see if we can make enough off this to cover the cost of me building printers. And then it became, hey, let's see if we can make off this to be an additional income source. And then, hey, let's see if we can make this and make it a job. Voila. So that goes like that. Oop. 1 second here. There's a few dribbles I gotta clean up. Just watch for the marbles. Well, lucky for you, we'll be doing a marble run in an hour and a half roughly. So make sure you're subscribed and ring the bell. There we go. Also, the other reason I want to do this, once you put the tarnish coat on it, I'm less, how do I word this? I'm less antsy of where I put the parts. When they're printed, when they're raw printed parts, I just throw them around, right? Like I got a box over there with a bunch of printed parts in it. But then once I start hand working them, it's like, ooh, okay, ooh, gentle, gentle, gentle. Oh, okay. Or it's like whatever. And now that they're this, it's like, okay, whatever, just kind of chuck them wherever. Like I don't mind holding it by like the front anymore. I don't mind, like I'm like, no, I can hold it now. Friend whose DJ name is Ann Savage, but that's actually her last name. Nice. Like a modern Bridgeport Star machine or I would love an OG Bridgeport. Although I will say, you want to know what's actually a cheat code? If you ever get one, a Bridgeport that's CNC converted. When I was in shop class, during my apprenticeship, we had, I don't know if they weren't Bridgeport brand, but for those that don't know, Lee Smith Workshop, 10 pounds for the Bridgeport fun. I think I'm gonna need a bit more because I don't have room or 3-phase power in here, but appreciate it. A Bridgeport is a vertical milling machine, okay? So, vertical milling machine, okay? So if you don't know what a vertical milling machine, this is a vertical milling machine, okay? These are vertical milling machines, okay? Bridgeport is a name brand. Actually, I don't even think Bridgeport is around anymore. Are they even still a company? Like, can you still Bridgeport? Bridgeport, Connecticut, yeah. Bridgeport Mill. No, they're still around. They're still around. They're still around. So there's your Bridgeport. You can still buy a Bridgeport. But essentially, this is a vertical milling machine. But I call it a Bridgeport. And a lot of people in the trade call them a Bridgeport. It's Kleenex, okay? It's like Band-Aids. Not all, you know, dressings with bandages are Band-Aids, but they're all Band-Aids. Band-Aid is a brand that became, the brand name becomes so synonymous with the thing that the brand name became a name for the thing. Kind of like Q-tips, right? They're cotton swabs. Nobody calls them cotton swabs, and everyone uses them to clean your ears. You know you're not supposed to, but we call them Q-tips. This is a Bridgeport. Not all Bridgeports are Bridgeports. Not all vertical milling machines are Bridgeports, but all Bridgeports are vertical milling machines, or at least for the most part. When you, yeah, because Bridgeport makes CNCs too. But if somebody refers to something as a Bridgeport, they're referring to a vertical milling machine. Same as that. So the shop I had in my shop class when I was at the college for my apprenticeship program, getting my ticket, they had Analam controllers on their vertical milling machine. So they're vertical milling machines. You could run them like a Bridgeport manually, but they also had a CNC controller on it. And it was really nice because it had macros. So you could just like pick up an XYZ home. So you could put your little dial indicator or edge finder, pick up XYZ, so you can mount your like plate on the bed, pick up your XYZ home, so 000, tell it, okay, I'm at 000, and then you could be like, make a pocket that's, you know, 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 1 centimeter deep with this interior radius, with this step over using a 1/2-inch cutter. And it was just a macro. You just punch in the variables and it would just do it. It was super awesome because it allowed you to use the Bridgeport as a manual Bridgeport when you needed to. But if it's like, hey, I need to drill 20 holes in these spots, you could just be like, okay, drill macro, you know, peck drilling, whatever, you know, this is how deep you go, this is your retract, blah, 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 blah. Here's all the XYZ coordinates, move up 10 millimeters above the part when doing the travel. You could punch it all in as a macro and just hit cycle start. So you didn't have to actually program the CNC with a computer. You could just do it with the macro function on the controller. It was super easy to use. And that's something I wish we had with like the Milo, where it was like a canned macro function, because not everyone knows how to use, you know, Fusion to create G code for machining stuff. But a lot of people can go, hey, I need to drill holes at XYZ, these coordinates that are 20 millimeters deep. And you can just punch in the XY coordinate, drill, XY drill, and then, yeah. Drop something in the Discord channel. Don't say Velcro. Yeah. It's like Google doesn't want you to say Google when you search stuff, because if the name becomes synonymous with a thing, you can lose branding rights to it essentially, because then another company can call their product a Band-Aid, right? And then Band-Aid goes to sue them, and the courts go, well, this is now a name. Like, this isn't a brand name anymore. This is just an object name, right? I think Nintendo did a huge marketing push back in like the early 90s, trying to get people to not call video game consoles Nintendos, because that was a thing for a while. If you were around back when I was a kid, parents just called all video game consoles Nintendos. And Nintendo was like, no, we have to put a stop to that, because the last thing we want is to lose our branding to just genericization or whatever it's called. So it's like they put ads out in gaming magazines called, this is a video game console, not a Nintendo or something. So yeah, that's another thing with trademarks. You use it or lose it. So like, for example, the license for the Benchy does not allow modification. If you look up the actual license for the Benchy, right? Do I even have a Benchy? This isn't a Benchy, but for the Benchy, you are not allowed to modify and redistribute the Benchy. So I cannot download the source code for the Benchy, modify it, make a ghost Benchy, and then upload that file to printables. That is violating the license of the Benchy. It is. But have they ever enforced that? No. It's never been enforced, to my knowledge. So if I were to suddenly come out one day and start selling a modified Benchy file, and then if Benchy, the people behind Benchy, were to take me to court, I can go, here are all these examples of your license being violated that you took no action on. If you don't lose it, if you don't defend it, you can lose it. That's why whenever you see Disney suing like a daycare that put Disney characters up on the wall, Or even like the story of like the parent who their kid died and the kid was in like a Cars-themed coffin or something and Disney sued him. It's not that Disney's evil. I mean, Disney is evil, but it's straight up, they have to. If you do not defend your trademarks and your licenses all the time, you risk losing it. Because then somebody can go to court and be like, well, they didn't defend it that time and they let these people get away with it. They let these people get away with it. I could get away with it. So it's like, it sucks when you see news of that, but it's a straight up patent law or trademark law. It's like, you have to defend your patent. You have to defend your IP laws. You have to. So there we go. How's that look? I might have overdid it a little bit, but that's okay. They're legs. Legs are going to be dirty. And I haven't even done mud or scorch marks or anything. This one came out a bit better. Yeah. How do they look? What do you think, class? Are they sufficiently dirty? Are they weathered? What do you think? What do you think? What are my thoughts? What are your thoughts, class? Are we good? Too shiny? It's metal. If you want non-shiny power armor, you need to do T51. T51 is composites. In the lore, T45s were rushed and put into service before they were ready. That's why the ghoul guy on the Fallout show like makes a comment of that, because he was around when they had the T45s. The T45 armors were flawed. And then they went and they made the T51s to deploy to Alaska to beat back the Reds. And the T51s were really good. The problem is they were also extremely expensive and complicated because they were made out of composites, so they wouldn't rust or freeze. That's why in Fallout 4, when you can't find rusty T51s, because T51s don't rust, because they're not made out of stuff that rusts. But then they realized these are too expensive. So then they went back to the T45 and they improved it, which was the T60, which was like the final mass-produced power armor before the war began. So you have the T45, and then its replacement, the T60, and then the T51 is its own thing. And then you have the Enclave armors, which are very rare and specialty. So if it looks different, it's just... Well, actually, this is ABS. This is all ABS. It's pink ABS even. So that's that. So you can go over there, because now I can just kind of throw you around, because you're not painted, or you're now that. Actually, I gotta put a garbage bag in here. Damn it. There we go. Next on Discovery Channel, History of Power Armor. I got an idea of what I want to do with the power armor once I get it built. I got like a little 2 to 3 minute short story idea. I might make a video if I can figure it out. I've never made a video, like an actual like video, like a short story, short film type thing. I might deal with the power armor because I got a little idea. I might play with it, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's go. Oh, here, you want another pro tip? Next time you're in a dollar store, buy this. Buy these. Little red solo cup shot glasses. Buy a bunch of these and just keep them with you. They're good for like mixing. So if you got to mix up like epoxy or paints or something, use these guys. Just buy a bunch of them. Battle with Hacksmiths. T65. Oh yeah, there is the T65. T65. Isn't that from Fallout? Yeah, that's from Fallout 4 or 5. Yeah, it's 76. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Nah, dog. No. Just no. Like, okay, it looks a bit better with some paint on it, but like, no. Too tanky. I don't like it. There shouldn't be a human in something that big. Yeah, no. before the end of the war. Was it? Oh. Battle with Hacksmith. Well, the Hacksmith power armor is powered, whereas mine is technically powered, but mine is meat powered. So unfortunately, can't really do much there. Okay, so what's next? So I can't put anything together until my order shows up. Let me go take a looky. Let me go take a look. I'll be back in 1 second. Nope. No package. Stairs here. Where? Ah, here we go. Print some stuff. Everything all good? Okay. StarCraft Marines are tanky. They are in everything except the game, which is funny. Okay, we need to print some stuff. I need to reprint some stuff. I'm actually reprinting quite a bit of this armor. Some of it I'm going to keep. The chest piece I'm going to keep. So this is the front chest piece. This one isn't too bad. This is the chest piece. The problem is it's a little tight right here. So I got to figure out how to make this about 1 inch wider without messing up any of the dimensioning. So I got to figure that out. Because this is like, I'm stretching it. Like here on my sides here, it's like, there's no room. This is my body. Right behind it is my body. This is the front piece of it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. How I'm going to do that. I got to like, the problem is there's the front and then you have the back. The back I got to reprint. The back came out horribly. So many of the parts warped when I glued it together, nothing lined up. And I'm not spending forever bondoing the heck out of it. But the back, this fits like that. And then you have like the holes for your body and whatnot. So this is the back. So I got to reprint the whole back because this is just not good. Nothing lines up with this. At about 1/2 inch of the center line. Well, that's the thing. Like I could split it in half, but I don't want to. What I might do is like cut it just a little. Well, because like the problem is there's all these curves, right? There's curves. So if I split it in the middle and split it, it just makes a bigger gap where the neck is. So I don't want to split it like, I could just make it 1 inch wider. I could just split it down the middle and make it 1 inch wider. And then I have to do that on the front and the back. Heat gun and spread it. I could do that. The problem is trying to, yeah, like I need an extra inch. Yeah, I need an extra inch. Also in terms of like mobility, what mobility? Like, that's all you got. You can't lift your arms up more than this. You got this. And then the backpack just kind of sits on your back. That's it. Because it's all covered under, because you got to remember, let's see. So if you go there, you go like that. So you go here. This goes like that. So that goes like that. So there's the chest. Okay. Let's see. Can I do something to get this to stand up? There you go. You go there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so if that goes like that. Okay. So there's the chest piece. And you're like, well, what about this big hole here? Well, you got to remember, just like a World of Warcraft orc warrior, you're going to have, I believe, Make sure I got the right one here. 1 second. Yeah. This. Chilling here. Big old pauldron. Big old pauldron. So this is gonna like, yeah. So the problem is I gotta reprint these, both of these. I screwed up printing these originally. I screwed up in 2 ways. One, the parts warped. The printer I printed this on, the parts warped. It sucked. And 2, even bigger, I printed these on Voron settings. These are 1 kilogram each. I don't want kilogram shoulder pads. So I gotta reslice this and reprint it not weighing 20 pounds. That's why I grabbed that spool of filament. So we're gonna use the C-bore and we're gonna see how the C-bore goes printing big ABS parts. So this is garbage. And not only is this garbage, the other one's garbage too, because there's a left and a right. So I may end up reprinting the whole chest piece, front and back, but I definitely have to reprint the shoulder pads. So we're gonna do that right now. And also, if you're wondering, here are the thigh pieces. These are the thighs. So for the thighs on this is the left thigh. Let's see, can I even, yeah, here, let me, just to show you how the thighs go. Let me grab a left leg. Okay. So just to put the legs in perspective, I'm gonna stand on something so I'm taller. Okay. So the knee goes to there. Wow, this isn't even tall enough. And here's the left thigh part. So this goes like that. Because this has to go into this little index point. So this is the leg. This is the leg assembly right here. It's just a little big. Just a little big. So this right here is here's the back, here's the front. So this is the upper thigh piece right here. just a little big. So we'll get this printing and then I'm gonna start bonding that up. Really comfortable. Oh, it's gonna be horrible. And it's probably gonna stink because I'm gonna use a lot of rubber. Because the thing is too, this is what I want to avoid. This is what I want to avoid. This is what I want to avoid. So let's see if I can find one here. Okay, this will be a good example. This is a ticky-talk. Look inside the suit. See, like this is obviously a fully homemade suit. Wow, those pauldrons are way too big. But see the panel gaps? I don't want to look like a Tesla. I don't want the panel gaps. This one's pretty good. But like, you can see how you can see the skinny guy inside the suit. I don't want to see the skinny guy. So this isn't too bad. But like, see this one? This is what I want to avoid. Frick off, Pinterest. Pinterest sucks. Open image in new tab. There you go. Okay. See how you see the skinny guy inside the suit? I don't want that. Okay? I don't want that. What I want is to look like from the show, where you don't see the skinny guy inside the suit. So the plan is every joint, I'm just gonna put like rubber to like fill the gap. So essentially it'll like, I'll use like rubber and hoses and whatnot and foam to basically fill the gaps. So at least like you don't see the skin. So the problem is that means every component of the suit needs to be its own individual component. Start lifting, that's fine. Stills or first plate? I'm gonna wear this. Tried the foaming filament for cosplay. I have not, because I don't like how weak that filament is. I don't like PLA at all for any of this stuff, because the last thing I want to do is leave it in my car on a hot day and have it melt. Extrude. Oh, wait, temperature. ABS. Let's unload some filament. Empty. 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 Not empty. Okay. That's where my scissors went. My A-net spool holder don't work. Hopefully this guy works. Yeah, that'll work. Might make it hella rigid. It's power armor. I'm not gonna have the best mobility in it at all ever. Like for example, this is T60. This is a figure though, so this isn't. One second. So this is T60, but scaled from the Fallout 4 scaling. Okay, I won't be this bulky, but you could see how, like, you know what I'm going to use for like this stuff and like behind the knees? I'm going to use that corrugated hosing. Like, not this stuff because this is too small, but I figure if I get some like some of this stuff that's like 12-inch diameter or even 8-inch, and then I can cut like halves of it out and use that for like the knee joints to like hide the arms and whatnot. Basically just use this stuff for like where you see right here, this, here, like that's where this stuff is going to be, essentially. Actually, will this work for, okay, can I unload the filament now? Fill, extrude, unload. This is actually the hose that came with the laser. Let's work for puffing this out. Yeah, a little. Stuff it with some rags. I just got to figure out how to fill the boots out when I'm gluing it all together so it actually holds position while I make it all. Sewer hose, black zones, freaking laser beam. I have a laser. I'm actually trying to figure out what I can use the laser for, but I don't need it for anything. No, I clicked unload. Why? There you go. Come on. There we go. Retract it. Whoa! Almost lost my spool. That would have been bad. That would have been really bad. Okay, let's get this going. You can just go there. Dust collection hose from Lee Valley. Oh, actually, I think we do. Do we have Lee Valleys in Canada? I don't know. I actually have no clue. Okay, that's seems optimal. Optimally optimal prime. Load. There you go. Sure. There we go. And we're good. So that's loaded. There's a Lee Valley in London. I'm not driving 2 hours to go shopping. 2 hours to go shopping is a little much in my opinion. Okay. Temperature. Cool that down. There we go. Okay. Let's do some slicing. Also, my keyboard is all gritty from dust now. It's kind of annoying. Let's go over here. So your paint, you got to go inside. Your paint, so you go with the rest of the paints. And you are the holder for the electric screwdriver. So I will put you over here. Where did I put the electric screwdriver? Somewhere over here. I'll find it later. Okay, prepare. Aha, so we're gonna use that. So, 300 model, no, I need network. You don't need to know the intricacies of my home network file system. It is a Unix system. T45 power. Okay. And Diamond Tire Mall. Yeah, there is a Lee Valley, but it's weird. It's like a weird like thing. Okay. Abs, man, why I got Mando stuff in here? Okay, boots, shoulder. So this is, I'm assuming, the left shoulder. Yeah, this is the left shoulder. So as you can see, this don't quite fit. Because nothing on here is flat. Nothing is flat and nothing fits. So I have two options. I can split it in half. So which is the easiest way to do it? So if I split it down the middle, I want to rotate. There you go. So if I split it right down the middle, okay, perform cut. Okay. I wish you could get a full proper top side view of this. No, I don't want to do. Basically that, do that. And then let's add a plate. Do this guy. Rotate. Oh. Yeah, see, that ain't gonna work, 'cause that stupid wing is gonna be annoying. I should probably cut that wing off and do that separately, right? Yeah, let's crack that off. Let's split that off. There we go, right about there. Yeah, so we'll split that there. Form cut. And I can go there. There we go. There we go. Now, yes, I can use locating pins, but I don't like using locating pins for this because it's a lot easier just to gloop it and line up the external surfaces. Why not place the flat? There is no flat part. There is no flat part. This part right here isn't flat. Is that flat? Yeah, it's not flat. That's why. There are no flat parts to this. Like here, like I've got one. I printed one of these already. There are no flat parts on this. Like everything there is radius. This isn't flat. This part, it's not flat. Yeah, there is no flat parts on this. Okay, so we'll do this one first, obviously. So we're gonna have to put some stupid support up here. Oh, Z. So process, support. Let's paint on some support. Fill, mix only. What's going on here? Why? What? There we go. That's gonna suck, but it is what it is. A little smart fill there. Okay, support, enable support. Tree, manual, organic. Top Z distance is fine. Bottom Z, where's XY distance? A little bit more. Okay. Strength. We're gonna go with like, where's lightning infill? Lightning infill. We'll go with 15%. Now we're gonna do 3 walls, 5 top, 5 bottom. Lightning infill. See how this goes. Waiting for Joel. I mean, he used the, didn't he use like a Massifit at one point and do that? I could have sworn Joel printed himself fully at one point. So this is a 10-hour print. Ooh, I don't like that. I need more infill. I don't like that. I need more infill. That is nowhere near enough infill. Cubic maybe. No wonder why that went through a quit. It's got no freaking AB. A big object like this, you do need infill continuously. Otherwise, the parts may warp. Like, because if you're printing a very thin wall of ABS, you run a real good risk of the part warping. So you do kind of want to have consistent infill throughout the part, just to at least allow it to whatchamacallit, hold together. Okay, where is, I need layer, variable layer height. Variable layer height. Where is adaptive layer height? Layer height? Is there an adaptive layer height setting in Orca? Adaptive. Oh, there you go. Oh no, that's tree supports. I don't want. I could have sworn there's an adaptive layer height. Layer height. Oh, it's the bars at the top of the page. Oh. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, because like this area right here, I want to have it. I guess that's all we're going to get. I mean, that is a pretty gradual slope there. That's trying to... The top's pretty good, though. The top's pretty good. That top is nice and curved. That'll be fine. Okay. 13 hours. Export G-code. Save. Oh, it didn't turn on? Okay. Adaptive. Oh, I see. Oh, you have to... Variable layer height is not supported with organic supports. Okay, so supports. Okay. Why can't I slice? Variable is with organic supports. I turned off organic supports. Oh, normal manual. Normal manual, snug. There we go. Okay, just make sure we're good there. Don't want it to accidentally bump into anything. There you go. Okay, now we can try slice. I've got 5 top layers. Should be okay. And the print time went down quite a bit. Nice. Okay, export G-code, save. Yeah, that should be okay. Load and print. Ooh, yeah. Off we go. Well, I've got 5 layers. So that yeah, you could see how it's, yeah, it should be okay. We should be okay. If it doesn't, I just cover it with Bondo. What probe do I recommend? Whatever comes with your kit. I really like nozzle probes. So tap the PZ probe from E3D. If you want to go with like beacon touch, that's another good option. Yeah. So we'll let that go, and then I'll print the other one. So let's do some Bondo work now. This one, I don't know if I should reprint this one. This had a layer shift, and by layer shift, it didn't layer shift. The part warped while it was printing, because it was printing vertically, and this was unsupported. And you could see like right here, nice and smooth. But then as you go around, you can see this layer shift. And it's not a layer shift. What happened, the part kind of like did this, because it was like, it was shrinking, right? As plastic cools, it constricts. So as it was, you know, this was the bottom of the bed here, and as it was printing, the part was going like this, and then it like went back. So I don't know if I can fix that by hand, because I really don't want to reprint the part. I'm not going to reprint the part. I'll just hand work it. Bondo the crap out of it. Good old Bondo. Actually, this is what I got. I'm going to try this stuff. I got this wood fill. I'm going to try wood fill instead. See how wood fill works. Sensorless homing on 2.4. Sensorless on XY is fine. You can't do sensorless on Z. Printed single piece on a Phoenix. I wouldn't print this single piece, because printing this single piece would be annoying, because you'd have to have a ton of support no matter what orientation, or you literally just split it right in half and you can print both parts without any support. So that's what I mean. Like, you don't always, having the bigger printer isn't always what you want, because there's a lot of benefits to not using the bigger printer. Or at least splitting a part up into multiple parts. That is really weird that it's doing that. Do I have a brim on? No, no brim. Oh, that's the infill. Okay, that's the support. It's like doing like a, it's doing a weird thing, but. Okay, I need a spatula. Spatula. What time are we at anyways? Are we doing the giveaway soon? Somebody let me know if I'm doing a giveaway soon. 4 o'clock. Oh no, I still got plenty of time. Bigger printer. Yep. More printer, more problems. There we go. Spatula City. Yep. So I used this already on a smaller piece. This is Bondo, but I haven't actually tried the wood fill on this. I bought this a while ago because I had to patch a hole in the floor upstairs because the previous owner had drilled a hole in the floor to run Ethernet cable or something, and they didn't do it right. So they just had like an extra hole in the floor. So I just filled it, but because fun fact, when you have a kid, you better not have holes in your floor. Otherwise stuff goes in those holes and you ain't never getting it out. So, if I remember, this is very grainy. Yeah. Oh, this like doesn't want to stick at all. Okay, well. I mean, worst case, it's just a scratch coat and I just sand it off. So. Yeah, this is like wet sand. I'm just gonna put on crazy heavy and sand it. Let the palm sander do the work. Although be very careful whenever you're filling stuff, because the last thing you want to do is like go crazy on the fill and then realize it doesn't sand easily. And then you are spending a lot of time trying to fix something and it sucks. Believe me, I've done it with like drywall compound. If you over mud something, it sucks fixing it. Believe me. If you know, you know, right? Only put what you need. Don't go. Only put what you need. Otherwise, you're gonna hate life trying to sand it all away. Okay, well, hopefully the sands, I'm assuming it sands well. It's wood fill. Wood fill should sand pretty good, right? Well, I got a palm sander for a lot of this stuff. I use a palm sander. I got a Black & Decker mouse. So on the bright side, you just hit it. You just hit it with the palm sander and let the palm sander just put some like 80 grit sandpaper on it and just let the palm sander just blast it down. And it works pretty good. It does work pretty good. For the most part. It's just, this doesn't really want to stick too well to the... Maybe if I clean the parts first. Let me get one of the pieces I haven't done work on yet. What does Prusa Dave use for his larger prints? An XL. The thing is, I'm not using an XL for this stuff for two reasons. One, the extra size isn't that much bigger for the parts I'm printing. And two, I'm printing everything in ABS. Everything is ABS, so I can acetone weld it together and hand work it easier. So like, Make your own plastic filler with acetone and ABS. Oh, I've done that. The problem is I find with that, it leaves, okay, are you ready? This is gonna be really like one of those things that you're probably never gonna think of. It sands differently. I don't like doing that. I'm not a fan. Where did I put my bottle of acetone? Or, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Behind the printed part. See how on this one? See how it's shiny there? That's because I glooped these together, or I used 3D gloop, and then I brushed the excess with the brush. I don't like doing this because this ABS here now has different mechanical properties than this ABS. It doesn't sand as good, or correction, it sands differently. So when you sand it, it sands differently, and it's more noticeable than if you don't do this and you use like a Bondo or something. Yeah. I'm gonna try wiping it down with some ISO before to see if that sticks better. That was something I noticed with the Mando suit. Parts that I like went crazy with the acetone trying to smooth it out didn't sand as nicely, I found. On the bright side, these should stick together pretty good. Why is multi-tool head not as prevalent as AMS? Because it's still much more expensive. Think about it. You need an extra controller board, an extra hot end, you need the extra fans, you need an extra extruder assembly, you need all the wiring to connect to that, you need a controller that can take handling talking to multiple tool head boards, so CAN bus. You're gonna need also the hardware. You're also gonna need a latching, locking, and unlocking mechanism that is repeatable, like 100% reliably accurate, repeatable motion and accuracy. And you're gonna need one of those for each tool head. So it's not that it's more complicated. It is more complicated, but also it basically adds an additional $50 to $100 per tool head and just equipment alone, let alone the profits that you might need on that. Plus also, tool changers are a logistical nightmare. Supporting a tool changer is not easy in terms of the amount of support required. They require much more support. So if you're a company that is, you know, wholly banking on the fact that your printers are very easy for people to use, and you come out with a machine that's complicated and your support system is already overwhelmed, you're just adding more fire. You're adding more fuel on that fire. So what I'm going to try doing is smearing it on thick, letting it set for a bit, and then trying to smear off the extra. See if that works. Like tool changers are great, but there's a reason you don't see a lot of them on the market. They are, and fight me on this, the best way to do multicolor, multi-material printing. No ifs, ands, or buts. From a mechanical standpoint, that is the best way to do multicolor printing, and especially, and really the only way to do true multi-material printing, okay, is with a tool changer. But it's not the cheapest way to do it, and it's not the simplest way to do it. So it's kind of like, okay, on a Voron, we love our quad gantry leveling, okay? On Vorons, we love quad gantry leveling, okay? And bed tramming. On a Trident, you get the 3-point bed leveling. It's awesome, right? It's great. How many commercial printers from Creality, Bamboo, Cheaty, etc. use independent Z motors? How many? How many of them use independent Z motors for gantry tramming or bed tramming? Like none. None of them bother with it. They just use 3 lead screws and they all belted together on a single motor. Why? It's not worth it. Especially on like, average size machines, and by average size, I mean like 250 to 350 size 3D printers, bed tramming is not needed at all. As long as you can keep the bed, as long as the bed is mechanically sound and you're like is repeatable, like on a Prusa, it's quite easy. On a Prusa, if you don't know how they tram the gantry on a Prusa Mark IV, they drive the bed or the gantry to the roof and they stall it out, and that squares it up. You want to know how you square up the bed on a Core 1, a Prusa Core 1? You do a Z negative China and crash that shit into the bottom. The steppers error out because the steppers are smart and they go, oh, there's a lot of force, but it makes the bed flat to the bottom. And if you build the frame square, when it's flat to the bottom, it's flat to the top. So basically by going Z negative China, you basically cancel out the need for two extra motors and 2 extra drivers and the software to do the tramming. It's not needed, especially on a machine that size. Is it fun? Yes. Is it awesome to have? Yes. Does watching the gantry do a quad gantry tram always awesome? Yeah, it's fun. But it is not economical for a consumer 3D printer. Well, of course the Temu Voron does it. I am not a fan of wood fill for this. I'm sure there's like a liquid wood fill that's much better, I believe. But I had this downstairs and I figured I'd give it a try. It's cheaper than Bondo. I think this stuff's like 10 or 15 bucks a jug versus the Bondo. But it's very gritty. It's like sand. It's like, you know that amorphic sand that kids play with? It's like that. I'll let it dry. Yeah, see, I had another layer shift up here. Kinetic sand. That's what I meant. I don't know why I had so many layer shifts on this. What printer did I print this on? Have layer shifts like this. Because they're not really layer shifts. They are the print warping and then snapping back to its home position. That's what they are. Because it's like, it's not, if you look, you can see the line. You could probably see the line from the layer shift. But it's not shifted here. This side is perfect. So the print just kind of did that and then went back after a while. And I don't know why I did that. Oh. Okay, so that's that thigh piece. I think I got one more. Acetone. Yeah, acetone melts ABS. And the problem is it melts it in a way I don't like, because you basically melt your ABS. So you lose a lot of the, you lose mechanical properties essentially. And also anything that's like a sharp, crisp detail, you risk mushing it. Uneven heat. I think, I'm trying to remember if, I think these parts were printed on either the Physec Trident or one of the it might be the LDO V2. I can't remember exactly which printer these were printed on. I will say this doesn't smell as bad as the Bondo. So I got that going for me, which is nice. I mean, maybe I should be wearing my mask. I have my mask right here, but... Alcohol's like anti-aliasing. Not a huge fan of this. I mean, I'm going to do at least one coat of it just to see how it works. I'm not a huge fan of this. Actually, shoot, I got to do something before I finish. Hurry up and do this before I forget. Don't want to forget. It might work. I mean, if anything, after the first sand, it'll make the bondoing of the touch-up layer of Bondo much easier to do. There we go. Because usually my workflow for this, what I tend to do is I'll go through everything. So it comes off the machine, put the parts together, so glue it together, whatever you got to do to put it together. I'm going to try and see if I can, how it works putting it by hand. Not too bad. It's not too bad. So put the parts all together and then go in with like Bondo spot filler or just straight up Bondo if it's bad enough. And then I fill all the gaps, all like the really heavy stair stepping. I'll fill that in and then I'll go right to sand. I won't put a primer coat on usually until I do at least one quick sanding pass, because there's no point in painting something that's going to get, you know, blown away by a sander, especially like a palm sander, right? There's no point. It's going to get blown away. So what's the point of spending time painting something that right away is going to get sanded? So what I'll do is I'll basically do this state, let it all dry, bring in it, my palm sand the whole thing, and then I'll go in with a hand sand and just knock down any like burrs, because I find the palm sander, especially on like 60 grit, while it makes it really easy to blow away layer lines, it leaves the finish a little too rough. So then I'll go in with like just a sanding block and just make it flat again. And then I'll hit it with like 2 or 3 coats of primer. And then after that, I'll go in with the Bondo glaze, touch up any areas that look bad, palm sand it again with like 120 grit. Again, hand sand it after that, do another coat of primer, go in with the Bondo glaze. And then after that, I can usually just hand sand, clean it up. And then what I found is this stuff, which I'm not going to go get it, but it's basically, instead of going right to the final coat of paint, I do a base layer. So let me go get it because I'll show you. It actually works really good. What I do is I use 2 types of paint. And mostly it's because it's cost. Is this the right stuff? No. Where is it? Is it this one? Which one is it? Where'd it go? Where did I put it? Uh-oh. Where'd I put it? Am I out? No, that's not it. Uh-oh, am I all out? Shoot, I might be out. Oh, here we go. Yeah, no, I'm not. Although, I'm gonna have to buy more. Spray paint's expensive. This is the final coat of paint that I use. So this is the final coat of paint. It's Rust-Oleum Universal Metallic Paint and Primer, Titanium Silver. This is what I use for the final coat of paint before I go to the, you know, tarnishing it all. The problem is this stuff is $23 a can. So what I do is I use this stuff. This is just Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch Metallic Aluminum. This works really good as my second to last coat. So I'll spray the whole part. Because this is shiny, it really highlights defects. So any little bit that I missed that still has like a hole in it or like it needs more sanding, you see it after this. So I'll go in with like high grit sandpaper after I do this coat. I'll touch it all up, make it look nice and smooth, and then I'll hit the areas I sanded again with this, just a light coat. And then after everything's painted with this, I'll go in and do 1 coat of this, and then it's ready. Before, I used to have to do 2 or 3 coats of this stuff, going from like black or primed to the final. But by doing this stuff is $10 a can. So I only need like 1 coat of this. So it saves a bunch of money and time. Because like, it's amazing how much paint this soaks up. Like how quickly you go through cans of primer doing this. It's ridiculous how much primer you go through doing this. Invested in a high-V air guns if you're doing enough of it. Eventually, I plan to. The problem is I don't have room for a setup like that. Like, I just got a little paint booth set up over there with some rattle cans. Also, the problem is I've kind of already figured the final color, so I can't change paints, at least for the final color. Some of these parts I will paint with a different color because I do want them to be slightly different. But for the most part, like, I have to use that titanium silver for everything now. Otherwise, the parts won't match. I made so much lasagna on Christmas Eve. That's like all I'm gonna be eating for like lunch and dinner for like the next couple days. It's just leftover lasagna. Airbrush guns work decent or touch up? Well, that's the thing. The plan is basically I do want to get like a touch up airbrush gun for like detail work after I get the suit built. Because what I want to do is after, this is why I'm doing like the tarnished coat on everything. And then I'll go in and do like all the detail stuff when it's all together. That's kind of the plan, is do enough work now to make it look kind of okay. And then go in after everything's done with a touch-up coat and make it look good, essentially. It feels like I'm playing with sand doing this. All I'm trying to do is just fill in the layer lines here from, because this is a pretty aggressive part. And these knees you will see if I kneel, so. And get your paint from Auto Supply going forward, very cheap. I've looked at Auto Supply. I've looked at Princess Auto. I've looked at, you know, Home Depot, Crappy Tire. It's all the same price. For the Rust-Oleum stuff, it's all the same. For the primer, I use Granger. I buy the cans of primer filler from Granger. They're like 10 bucks each, and I buy a case of it at a time. So I'll get like 10 cans at once. So I use Granger for that, and it works pretty good. But no, the problem is I talk to people like Daryl offers 3D, and it's like I watch his videos and watch his setup, and I'm like, oh, frick, I wish I had all that equipment and whatnot. And it's like, I don't. Rattle cans. Also, part of me likes doing stuff with nothing fancy. Like, nothing annoys me more than finding a YouTube video for a project. And I touched on this with the bike. By the way, the bike is on hold till spring. The electric little scooter. I'm waiting till the weather gets nice again to work on that again, because it's cold. And I'm working on this instead. But what was I going to say? Nothing is more annoying than finding a project on a YouTube video. Like, oh, I want to do this project. And you start watching the video and they pull out the $15,000 MIG welder. And it's, you know, they're using like all these custom tools and jigs and cranes and hoists. And they have an entire empty garage to do all this work in. And you're just like, dude, I got a garage and a hammer. What am I supposed to do? That's why I'm trying to do everything with like nothing fancy so far. 3D printers, rattle cans, sander, and Bondo. That's all I've used so far. And like a bread knife to cut styrofoam. High build urethane primer. I know, I need to get that stuff. I know that's what Daryl uses. And it's like, it smooths everything out so much quicker. But like, I would want a full proper, because right now my paint booth is literally just like a box I made out of some scrap material with a hole cut in the side with a furnace exhaust filter and a fan to suck air through it. So it just captures the particulates. It's not an actual like full-on proper paint booth. It's enough that, you know, I still have to wear this. It just keeps my garage from getting, like, put it this way. Just to put it in perspective, doing the boots and the helmet, I've got like dust all over the entire garage right now from that. Like all the printers have a thin layer of dust on them in here now. Like even my keyboard, like here, watch. Okay. Clean. Unplug my keyboard. Wipe it. Dirty. That's all just from working in here. Convert your bathroom, but I need my bathroom. Cutting styrofoam. I mean, it works. Well, actually, I use the knife, and then I use that to cut out chunks after. How's this coming along? Nice. Ooh la la. Okay, well, it's the Costco knife. You know the colorful Costco knives? Yeah, I've got proper knives inside. I don't. This was used for insulation. This is my insulation knife. And actually, what I'm going to do now is prepare that. Adaptive. Adaptive. This file before I go. Oh, I'm gonna. Do I need support? I'm gonna need support. Prepare. Paint support. Overhangs. Highlight overhangs. That. That. I don't think I need support on this at all. G code, save. What is going on with this guy? Oh no, we're good. We're good. That's that. There we go. Cool. Engagement slicing. Well, I want to have it sliced and ready. That way, because I've already modified the file, right? You know how much it sucks? Okay, this happened. What was it? What was I working on? It might have been part of this. Yeah, it was part of this. When I was printing all the little parts for the helmet, because the helmet has like 50 something parts. Like this helmet has like 50 something parts in it, right? Because like this is a part, that's a part, that's a part, this is a part, that's 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 a part, just for this arm, okay? So what happened was I had it all set up on different plates in Orca Slicer, and I would, you know, slice them off and print them on like, or Prusa Slicer or whatever. Like I had different plates set up, and then my computer turned off and I hadn't saved the plates. So I had to like load all the parts in again, sort out which ones I had already sliced, sort out which ones I had cut in half, recut them in half. Cause like now if this print finishes, but if I didn't save the next plate, and like, cause this part's cut in half with no reference other than, that looks about half, and I cut it. So imagine how much of a pain in the butt it would be to like recut it exactly the same spot. I wouldn't be able to. I would have to reprint it all. So that's why I saved the G code. I'm like, okay, let's back up. Let's save the G code right now for the other plate. So that way, you know, these are ready to go. And then we'll just put a little 3D gloop on it, call it a day. Okay, so that's that. Let me get the Las pistol. I want to actually take a look at that thing. I printed it a while ago and I never did anything with it. And I think I left it in a box over here. You go there, you can dry there. You guys can just kind of, you go there, you can go there. I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. There we go. What are we at anyways? By the way, do you guys, everyone enjoy their holidays? Everyone enjoy their holidays? Anyone get anything good from Santa Claus? No family fights or anything? Yeah, this is what I printed. Okay, so I printed this a while ago, actually. Deny. So this is the AEP-7 laser pistol. I like this one more than the current one in Fallout. The current laser pistol looks too much. I think this one matches the aesthetics more. So I printed all this already. I printed this like a year ago. So I printed it all and then never did anything with it. I put it in a box and then forgot about it. So like, we're gonna do something with it. Yeah, this is all of it. I got it all right here. Gotta love when support doesn't want to come out clean. It's like, get out of there. Where's my... I need a screwdriver. That came out good. There's also spider webs over all of this too. That. Digital microscope and Revo high flow. Ooh, fancy. That's not a bad gift. Oh, spider webs. Spider webs over everything. Okay, how does this go together? Okay, so that goes like that. This goes in here. That's one way to take support out. This should actually work pretty good. Now, should I be lazy and put it all together and then... What is this for? Mark IV. Okay. Okay, so let's see. How does this go together? So this goes in there. So let's clean this up. About buying my wife a diamond for Christmas, and I realized she doesn't have a 3D printer to put a diamond back in. That classic dad situation where you order it, you sign for it, you wrap it, you put a label on it, and your wife and kids, and you have to wait a month to see who's... Oh. Okay. Pro tip, always chamfer your stuff. Always chamfer your stuff. Make it a mount for E3D rotovitamins on the Prusa Mark III. Nice! A Mark III, honestly, right now, in my opinion, the biggest deal on 3D printing right now is people selling their Mark IIIs. Like, if you know what you're looking for, and you're able to snag a Mark III for dirt cheap right now, jump on it. Like, there's a lot of people right now clearing out Mark IIIs. Especially now that the Core 1's been announced. It's like, might as well. Also, get a bastard file while you're at it. It's gonna be handy. Okay, so this goes like that. Okay. That's that. I'm assuming that goes like that. This is the front. Okay. So if that's the front, what goes in here? That, no. That's a latch, so that goes in here. Okay, so that's that. That's a little tight. Deburring tool and a bastard file is something you should get if you plan on doing any cosplay or fitting parts 3D printing wise. Because a bastard file is really good for knocking down that little bit of elephant's foot, that little bit of brim you forgot about. Just makes it a little bit easier to clean up. Okay. Why aren't you loading? Okay. Which one goes where? So that's the rear piece. So that goes like that. Okay. So then which way does this go? Which way does that go? Okay, so that's on the left. Okay, so that's on the left side. Okay. So if this is the front, this goes like that. Okay. And then on the back, yeah, because this goes in here. I believe. Yeah, so that goes like that. I'm trying to figure out how all this goes together. This is the back of it. Obviously, there's the back. So it's going to go in here. So that goes like that. So there's going to be another piece here. Yeah, so that goes like that. Oh, there's a clearance hole. I think yep, there's a clearance hole here. Hate it when you accidentally use support when you're not supposed to. And you get the little hole just... Oh, there we go. Got it out. you go, yeah, so you go in there. Okay, I get how this works now. So this goes like that. That has a rail. There we go. That goes like that. That goes like that. You go like that. How does the trigger go? The trigger goes forward like that. Goes like that. Okay. Oop, 1 second here. I'm trying to figure out how this all goes together. Oh, geez. I'm building it, and you guys can't even see what I'm building. Why don't you tell me? Trying to figure out how the trigger mechanism works on this. It goes like that. Does that just go in? Oh, it goes in like that. Okay. That works like this. So this goes in like that. Oh, shoot. You go there. You like that. That ain't gonna work. How does that go together? Let's see. Oh, there's side assembly. Oh, there's a trigger block. Ah, okay. Trigger block. There's no instructions for this, by the way. For those wondering, there are no instructions for this. I'm kind of just YOLOing it. That goes like that. Okay, so that holds that all together. There we go. Goes in there. Arts and crafts, folks. Arts and crafts. Arts and crafts. There's a lot of pins that hold this all together too that I don't have, so probably gonna fall apart. But there we go. So this is going to be the laser pistol from Fallout. This is a non-functioning, not representative of any real life analog of lead accelerator, but this is going to be the primary thing to go with the power armor. So, and also apparently I can put LEDs in this because the battery compartment actually does like pivot, like it's supposed to pivot. and you can put batteries in it, and it actually does power an LED. So that's something I got to figure out how to do. Print it functioning. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have. Problem is with lasers. Think about it. Laser weaponry would be totally non-fun. There's no pew. Lasers don't make a noise. They just, you know, it's the sound of capacitors discharging. And there's no recoil. There's nothing. You don't even see lasers. Like any laser that would actually be used in a combat environment, you wouldn't even see the laser. So people would just like, or you'd be like, lasers are dangerous. Don't worry. I've got safety glasses somewhere. And then I believe these attach on the side somehow. Yeah, like these attach like on the side. There we go. Behold. That actually will work pretty good. This will go really good with the power armor, actually. This will actually work really good with the power armor, I think. So this will actually work pretty good, I think. How's it going? Not too bad. And I have the hose, so we're good there. Functional laser. I might just put an LED in there, like not an actual laser, just a red LED diode. I think I have some red LEDs. So this is really cool. This is how you reload it. Like that's pretty cool, you gotta admit. But you have to like solder up a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll make it usable, maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. Laser able to lethal as easily as quickly as a bullet wound, would probably be much messier. Yeah. Well, I mean, like right now, they pretty much use lasers for military purposes are pretty much relegated to mostly just like anti-material, like you know, using them to take down drones and whatnot, like that kind of thing. That seems to be the current use case. Yeah, it's all hollow in here, so I can easily add a laser. And then just have the trigger be a trigger. Because the trigger does move, I believe. I believe I do have some movement in here. It's just really stiff, but I can have the trigger move. So I'll just put a micro switch in there. This, because of its size, I think works really good for matching. So think about it. Like, here, let me put that in here. Let's put some totally cosmetic blue tape on everything to hold it together. kind of hold it together from falling apart. There we go. Okay, so that's that. So 1 second here, 1 second here. Let me just go do something really quick. Where is... Just to dry it off a bit. Just so you can actually see the bloody thing. I just hit it with an extremely light coat of silver paint, just so you can see it. So I got to reprint this. This is the plan to go with it. So for those that don't know, I talked about it earlier in the stream. The plan for the armament to go with the power armor is basically, I want the Ripper. I printed this one a while ago, all as one piece. So it's printed with support. This is not worth doing anything with. So I got to reprint this. But I got the Ripper. And then the AE7, what is it? AEP7 laser. So this plus that. There, put the bucket on. I love the fact that I can wear my glasses in there. Actually, I can't put my glasses on. I got the foam in there. So I don't know about you. That works. Or what is the, there's like an image where he's like holding the, it really makes the head look huge on this. It really makes the head look huge on this. And we're going with completely non-realistic, imaginary weaponry, so we don't incur the wrath of the YouTube algorithm gods. Because this is not real. This is printed plastic, emulating a thing from a game, a laser thing from a game. This actually shouldn't take too long to handwork either. Sand it all flat. A little bit of Bondo, paint it silver, paint the middle green. A little bit of black, run some wires, weather it, boom. This should not take long. This should not take long. As for the hose, I have hose already, like the wire. I use this. This is what I used on the helmet. This stuff. This is a power cord from like an old like skill saw. And that's like the hose I have coming out of the helmet. So I'll just paint it yellow. And then yeah. Oh, this will be really nice. This will come out really nice, I think. Added some weathering during weathering stream on Discord. Let me check the Discord. Are we doing the giveaway soon? We are doing the giveaway soon. Link in the video description. If you haven't entered yet, every stream we do a giveaway. So enter for your chance. Link in the video description. We're going to be doing the draw in 4 minutes. So somebody did this during the stream today. I love the, I'm assuming this is gold leaf. You use gold leaf. I'm loving the, like this is that kitsuragi thing, that Japanese thing where you replace it with gold. I'm assuming this is gold leaf, or did you paint it gold? I'm assuming that looks like gold leaf, but it might be painted gold. That came out really nice. This is the other side. It's gold leaf. Yeah, you did. That's really nice. You can tell it's gold leaf. And I think that works, like, because it gives you that, like, it's not a smooth texture. It looks like, you know, somebody had to sit there and make it by hand, like form it by hand. I love the dirty white look, like the eggshell finish you have on it. It's really nice. Very good, very good. That came out really nice. It's funny. The best thing to come out of the newer Star Wars stuff is like just models. Because which one is this even from? Like, I don't even, honestly, is this the last one? The Rise of Skywalker or something? I have no idea. I have no idea. Cram into the crack. Well, what you would do, wouldn't you just put glue in the cracks and then put it on and then let it, like, Ahsoka? Is it Ahsoka? Oh, okay. I haven't watched it. The last Star Wars thing I watched was like, Mando season 2. I haven't even seen Andor. I've heard good things about Andor, but you guys know me. I refuse to watch a show until it's over and it ends well because I'm not getting burned again after Game of Thrones. So Andor, they're making 2 seasons. That's it. I'll wait till season 2 comes out, and if it's good, I'll watch the whole thing in one go. Because the last thing I want to do is invest in a show and have it be shit. Oh yeah, this is going to work real good. This is going to work real good. I might start working on this after I just do the boots. Because this will be much easier to do. This will come out much quicker. And I can put a little laser in it and go pew, 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 pew. Actually, you guys got 2 minutes. I'm going to go downstairs, see if I have a red LED. I'll be back. Go mingle amongst yourselves and stuff. Okay, let's see. Where is my bin? Where'd they go? Nope, nope, nope. Where did it go? Uh-oh. 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 I had a thing. Did I lose it? Am I talking to myself? Can chat hear me right now? I'm assuming chat can hear me right now. Can you hear me right now, chat? If you can hear me, say hello. If you can't hear me, don't say hello. Where is it? I know I had it somewhere. Did I throw it out? I might have thrown it out. Shoot, hopefully I didn't throw it out. I might have thrown it out. Dang it. I might have thrown it out. Oh wait, maybe it's in here? Nope, maybe it's in here. No, those are just regular. Here's the thing, I don't know if chat can hear me. So I might be just talking to myself. If I'm talking to myself, that just means I'm crazy. So only crazy people talk to themselves, right? But if I'm not crazy, what am I doing? Nope, that's not it. Wait. Aha! Aha! I have exactly one. I've got one. One LED. Did you guys hear me talk to myself? Okay. Now the question is, do I have the voltage for this? How much volts are in this? I don't know which one's a positive, which one's a negative. I don't think it... When you're running power to like just a generic LED, okay, so that's 4 volts. Does it matter which one goes where? No, I've got like a couple of these floating. Polarity matters. So how do I know which one's the positive and which one's the negative? Blue is negative. Green is positive. I need to limit current. Long leg negative. Okay. Well, it's 4 volts, so I'm assuming nothing's going to happen. Nothing's happening. Long leg negative, short leg positive. Nothing. Maybe if I go the other way? Nothing. Nothing. And this is showing... Showing 0.4... Oh, 0.4 volts. Maybe that's why. 0.4 volts. Okay. Maybe I need a bit more than 0.4 volts. Where's my battery pack? I know I have a battery pack somewhere because I used it. I might have thrown it out though. Ah, here we go. Okay. I think we need more than 0.4. Wire strippers. Okay, so let's see. How much is this? .1 volts. Okay, this actually has voltage. Okay, so the long one is ground, right? Long one is ground, right? So short one is positive. Or long is positive? Long is positive. Long is positive. Okay, long is positive. So if all goes well, we should get a little light. And if it blows up, it blows up. There we go. There you go. Cool. So now I can power this. So the plan is to put this little LED right in the front. I don't want to use a laser. I don't want to put a laser in simply for the fact lasers are dangerous. The last thing I want is while wearing a massive suit of bulky 3D printed cosplay power armor is to accidentally shine a laser into a kid's eye. Is it hot? No? So I will just use a little red diode just so I have something. It'll look cool on camera. Don't they require a resistor? I have resistors. I can put a resistor in. I mean, I don't know how much of a resistor you need. But I will get some proper LEDs. Maybe I'll get like an actual RGB LED, like an actual brighter one, because these aren't that bright. But maybe I'll just get an LED one and glue that in instead. But either way. So we got that. And then you got to be cool when you're offhanding. You got to hold it backwards, right? That's you got to be, you know, it could be like all Solid Snake, you know, the basics of CQC and whatnot, right? Also, there's no trigger guard on this, and that's bugging me. This doesn't count as a trigger guard. The fact this doesn't have a trigger guard is bugging me. You can tell I don't like it doesn't have a trigger guard. 22 ohm, typical for 5 volt. Okay. I don't even know if these are 5 volt LEDs. I just had a bunch of LEDs in a bag from something years ago. So I will get some proper LEDs and resistors and whatnot. I don't want to use a laser pointer because I don't want to accidentally blind somebody. It didn't burn out. Like it didn't burn out. Like, oh, maybe it did. Maybe it went the wrong way. Yeah, it's not burning out. Here, let me leave it on for a bit. Like, I'm not feeling any heat. I mean, if these are 5-volt LEDs, this is 3 AA batteries. That's 4.5 volts. It doesn't even hit 5 volt. It's 4.5 volts. So if they're 5-volt LEDs, as long as I don't feed it more than 5 volts, it'll be fine, right? I don't know. Either way, that's what we're going to do. Let's do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. While I'm getting this set up, again, it's not the current, it's the voltage. Well, that's what I mean. Like, if it's a 5-volt LED and I feed it 4.5 volts, it should be fine, right? Still need to limit the current. Okay, I can do that. Won't be too hard. Make it work. Make it work. You can check the forward volt of the LED. Tell your. Well, here, let's hit Amazon. No, not AMA. Amazon. Amazon. Red LED diode. Five volt. So I could just get like one of these that already has it in. 3 to 6 volts, pre-wired light. Boom. I just get this. Comes all pre-made up and everything. Ooh, how bright are these? Ooh. 5 to 12 volt. I'm assuming it's already got the resistor in there. How bright is this? How bright would these be? I'm assuming these are just regular LEDs in a housing. Yeah, this already has the resistor in, so I might just grab a bunch of these and call it a day. The LED for car lights. A narrow focus. Well, if anyone has any suggestions for a 5-volt LED that's red and bright, but not a laser, that's 5 volts and cheap, and if you could find it on Amazon Canada, link it to me in the Discord. Either DM or just put it in the live stream chat. Because I do want a bright light, but I just want it for pictures. I don't want it to, like, I don't want to shine a laser on people. I don't want that. It's not safe. Because I can't see where I'm aiming wearing the helmet. So. Okay. Let's do a giveaway. You guys want to do a giveaway? While I'm getting the giveaway set up, we're all, again, for those that don't know, it is a spool of POLYMAKER filament that we give away every stream. But while I'm getting this set up, don't forget to check out the links in the video description. Some of them are affiliate links. They don't cost you anything extra. They go a long way in supporting the channels, and others, like the Gamer Subs one, woo, use code Canuck, save 10% off of your order. I think right now they're still doing the Gloop thing where you use code Canuck with 3D Gloop and you save some money too. But also, if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, because paint costs money, and so does Bondo, and I'm using a lot of it, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or gifting memberships to others. It's the best way to help support the channel, because not only do you support the channel, other people get to hang out and do cool member stuff when we do that. So let's do some marbles. I will be doing a video on the suit for the helmet. At some point, I just have to record it, because obviously the helmet's done and I got all the B-roll. I just got to record and edit it. The boots will be their own video. The weaponry will be its own video. I might do the laser pistol just by itself. That's something I want to do on the channel. I know I spoke about this last year, well, this year, but over the next year on the channel, I want to do more projects. I don't want to just do building 3D printers. Like today's stream, I want to do stuff like this more often on stream. I don't want to do just building 3D printers. I kind of want to move into using 3D printers to make stuff more on the channel over the next year and see how that goes. Because it's more fun. I can't just, I've built V0s God knows how many times on this channel. 308, good number. Okay, let's go with The mountain pass. Gandalf! Well, see, that's why it's the Canuck creator. Because I create things. I make stuff. Okay, how this works, if you win, you get a spool of filament from POLYMAKER. But if I pick your name and you win, you also get a free hat. So good luck to Cool Dr. J. Cool Dr. J, if you win, you get a free hat along with your spool of filament from POLYMAKER. Off you go. Better not be a long one. I'm hungry. Dude, I have so much lasagna. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna be munching on lasagna for days. Get up my desk here. Also, I got to reach out to Elegoo. They want to send me a resin printer, and I'm going to say yes, just so I have another resin printer that's clean, because my other resin printers are all dirty because I accidentally left them in a place where they got UV exposure and the beds are fricked. No mercy. No mercy. Go no mercy. You got to go through the snow. What does the MTG mean? No, it's not manufacturing. No mercy, Magic the Gathering? Everyone's dying. Why is everyone dying? Remember, exclamation mark zoom zoom makes you go faster. Exclamation mark gullible makes everyone else go slower. And if you like the smash button and are subscribed to the channel, it greases your ball up to go even faster. Troy! Troy J. Is somebody else ahead? No, I think it's Troy J. You snuck in there, buddy. This is yours to lose? Or Troy Walker. This is yours to lose. Oh, you're going down. There's no side. Troy, there's no side. There's no guardrails. Troy! Hold on, Troy! Oh, you made it. This is yours to lose now, Troy. Richard, maker us! Troy, this is yours to lose, buddy. Are you... Oh. Well, it was yours to lose. Now it's Gareth. Gareth. Wow. Freaking speech impediment. Gareth. I can't do S's. Gareth. You know there is no S. Gareth. Oh, Roby. Come on, Roby. Is it gonna be Roby? I think it's gonna be Roby. Cheesy potato with the snipe. Cheesy potato. Cheesy potato with the snipe. I think I turned the names off. How do I turn those back on? Uh-oh. I hit something and turned the names off. Alt? Alt. I don't know. Cheesy potato with the snipe. Congratulations, Cheesy Potato. Find you here. Cheesy Potato. There we go. Congratulations, Cheesy Potato. Santa Claus will bring you a spool of filament. A spool of filament for the new year. Congrats, Cheesy Potato with the snipe. Honestly, it's amazing how many times these games end with a snipe. They're fun. They like, don't get me wrong, the wheel of names is a lot easier to work with. It's a much simpler process, but it's the drama's fun. The drama's fun, you gotta admit. How's this coming along? Oh, this is coming along real good. Yeah, it's coming along real good. Although that stupid fan back there died, but I don't want to open it because it's cold. So, okay. I think my extruder gear might be slightly loose. I can hear a rattling noise, but I'll play with it later. Yes, okay, let's call it there. So obviously, there'll be a stream tomorrow. Let me see what the schedule is. So there will be a stream tomorrow night. I don't know if we'll continue on with the Gloop V2. We might just do, I think tomorrow we're just gonna do a print and chill I might work on some stuff as well, but it'll be a printed chill tomorrow because it'll be the last stream of the year. So it's just going to be a year-end recap, hang out, have a drink, have some fun, stream tomorrow night. There won't be a stream on Tuesday. Where are we? Today's the 27th. Yeah, there won't be a stream on there might be a stream on Tuesday. No guarantees that there's a stream on Tuesday, but there might be a stream on Tuesday. I might do something different. Maybe we'll do a Twitch stream or something because it is New Year's Eve. So I want to do something, but that. And also, it's a good thing we're not doing for those that don't know, the past 2 years, I've done a New Year's Eve giveaway and chill live stream. I'm not doing that this year. 2 reasons. One, it's the holidays and I've got a bunch of family stuff going on. I didn't want to organize it this year. And 2, a bunch of other people were doing giveaways this year and there's enough free stuff for everyone already. But 2, this April is 5 years since I started live streaming. So it'll be 5 years since my first live stream. It's either April or May. I can't remember exactly what the date is. Let me pull it up here. I can check. I can look for this. View my channel. Live. Oldest. May 2nd. Oh, God. Oh, God. The old days. Anyways, so yeah, May 2nd. So this year, when is May 2nd? May 2nd is a Friday. Or whatever. May 2nd is a Friday. So that'll be 5 years of streaming. So the plan is I want to do a big 5-year thing. So instead of doing a New Year's Eve giveaway and chill, this year I want to do a 5-year streaming anniversary giveaway stream instead. So I'll reach out to my contacts. And also, most companies burn out their marketing budget by the end of the year. Whereas most of them still have a pretty hefty marketing budget to play with. So hopefully we can get some Gucci stuff to give away. Yeah. So we'll do that. We're a quarter way through the century. John, why are you making me feel old? I remember turning off the computer for 1999. Like, I'm not John old, but I'm closer to 40 than 30, and I'm gonna end the stream now. I'm getting depressed. Okay, we're gonna call it there. Shout out to POLYMAKER for the spool of filament we gave away this stream and every stream. Links for all of them and more in the video description. Some of them fill links, don't cost you anything extra. And others, like the GamerSupps one and the Gloop one, use code Canuck and save extra monies. And for those that donate to the channel, gift the memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create. Without your continued support, you make it all possible. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you all enjoy the holidays. I hope you're still on holidays. I hope you're not working right now. If you are working, let's be honest, you're not really working right now. Nobody works between New Year's Eve and Christmas Day. It is what it is. It's not week, it's a write-off. But hope you're getting that overtime pay. For everyone else, I'll see you on tomorrow night. Enjoy your weekend, be safe out there, wash your hands, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.